Yeah, let's get that copyright strike.
Yeah. Well, they didn't hit me last week,
Oh,
so
that's good.
they gave up. All right.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Metalheads Unite. Uh,
Yes. This is
fresh
the
off, fresh off the Bay Strikes Back tour.
that's right. Yes, this is going to be the Bay Strikes Back recap edition, and we're going to talk about the NFL draft today. No, no, I'm kidding. We're not going to talk about the NFL
I
draft.
was gonna say,
We're
I
not.
hope not, because I'm not prepared for that. So,
Yeah, no, we're not. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at
uh,
all. But
yeah, I haven't honestly seen much other than I'm a Cowboys fan. So, other than that, I
yeah,
get the notifications for that. But other than that, I haven't really caught who got who. So,
right. That's the
I
same.
don't know.
I just know Detroit's picks, and other than that,
Yeah,
I don't really know who went where.
I may watch something later in the day, maybe get a recap or a grading episode or something. But
Yeah,
with the granddaughter being around on the weekends, I have to watch Disney. So
yeah,
uh,
yeah. You've probably watched Moana probably 3 billion
oh
times.
my god, yeah, yeah. I wake up sometimes going, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
All right, well, this we kick into this thing this morning. We didn't have a whole lot of well, I take that back. I guess we did have a lot of new content. We just didn't have a lot on the album side of stuff this week. So
Yeah,
that may be cut short, a little short. So, but
that's true.
yeah, we was going to kick this thing out talking about the Bay Strikes Back, Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel.
Yeah, about they should have called it one of the most amazing tours ever.
Yeah, yeah, the it could be the speed metal tour of the year.
God, man, I'd shit.
Uh,
It's only the end of April, and that would be my vote for speed metal tour of the year already.
yeah, that was definitely was not disappointed.
Oh God,
They
absolutely not.
like every like Death Angel opened the show and they brought that shit, dude. Like always, that's that's the second time I think it's the second time I've seen them. So I seen them on a headlining tour a few years ago. So
Yeah.
I got a little bit more for my money then, but I mean, everybody still played an hour or more. So I mean,
Hmm.
it wasn't a 30-45 minute set and you're done. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
played pretty good. And there wasn't a lot of like stopping and bullshitting too much. I mean, they did a little bit, but not like you would normally see at some of the shows. And you'd be uh, then they do their little rants, and then you realize, hell, they only played 4 songs.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, you got your money's worth. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to see. Did you ever find the set list for the show? Or
Actually, I did. The
yeah, so
when I posted, and people who are not in the Facebook group won't know this, but that special playlist that I posted yesterday, that was actually the concert in its entirety from start to finish.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what? I will find that and post it up into the chat. So
yeah. So what I did and I guess I'll be giving these guys a plug because I actually found that website that you and I were talking about. It's setlist.fm. And I actually went there and they had, I mean, and this was the day after, man. So, I mean, the day after the show, they had the set list for all three bands. So, I mean, I went there and all I did was go to Spotify and I just started pulling the songs off of Spotify in the exact same order that they played the show. So, the show in its entirety, I put together on that playlist and I posted it to the Facebook group. So, I mean, it's available over there. And here in just a minute, Jason will post a link and I'll throw that up on the screen if anybody wants to, copy and paste it, and so they can listen to it too.
Well,
but
if it means anything, the playlist is 2 hours and 50 minutes. So
it is.
So that lets you know that they
yeah. And the funny thing is like you were talking about how Death Angel, even though they were the opener, they still got an hour. They played 9 songs on their own.
Right.
So I mean, they played 9. I think Exodus played 14 and Testament played 17. So I mean, yeah, no, I don't think anyone got shortchanged.
Yeah, no.
I know we didn't as fans. We didn't get shortchanged at all.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked is like, obviously, Testament got, an hour and 30, but hour 30, hour 40, something like that. But, everybody, I mean, as far as three bands being on a tour, that was probably, and I don't know this for sure, but I was thinking back on all the actual tours I've ever been to, and I'm excluding the festivals, but like the actual just the one night tours that I've been to, trying to think back to all the ones I've been to, and I think that's probably the most evenly divided set times I've ever experienced. Because like you say, the opener usually get maybe 30 to 40 minutes. They'll play like 5 songs, maybe 6, and like, hey, that's our night, we're out of here. So
you're right.
So yeah.
Like I hate because like so much of our stuff like it goes through your posting and then the group's posting and then
right.
So it's kind of hard to see which one actually shows up in the comment section. So I have to comment on like 2 or 3 to see which one's actually showing up.
And then to touch on something else that you and I had talked about when we were driving back from the concert is the fact that everybody sounded so good.
Yeah, they did. Like even at you know what, that's where I was supposed to be. Shit. With you got to think with bands that have been around as long as they have. Every one of those bands have been around since the '80s. So every bit of 40 years for every one of those bands. So
yeah,
and they all said, I mean, Mark Acegueda, man, was just freaking what? I mean, I was just like blown away at his range and stuff. It's crazy how they can keep that going after all that time. But,
oh yeah, man, he can still hold a note. That's for damn sure.
And I got lucky, and I got lucky enough to meet him after the show. So
yeah, I wasn't so lucky, but
yeah, well, just it worked out. So I couldn't grab you and bring you back in. So
right,
I was like, damn, he went out.
Yep.
But it was really a cool laid back guy, and like I had an older Death Angel shirt on, so he was kind of talking to me about that. He was like, "Oh, where did you see this last?" And I was telling him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cool. You seen the headlining tour?" He was pretty funny because he was just like, not trying to be like too over humble or anything, but we brought that shit. I was just like, yeah, you definitely brought that shit. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was pretty cool. So let's see here. Well, it pulled up and then it didn't, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
No, I'll be damned.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is the live one. Let me see if it shows up when I. Oh. Yeah, this is the live one. See if it shows up. I'm trying to find that where it is. Hey, there it is. So, all right. I'm just making sure so I can post the link for the playlist.
Right. Yeah.
Make sure it shows up.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. So
All right.
there's the Bass Strikes Back playlist. So
Yeah, I'll leave that up for a little bit. That way, if anybody wants to grab it. I wish we could post. I wish we could post like a hyperlink to it so everyone could just like literally just click on it and go take them
mhm.
right there. But I'm sure there's a way to do it, but that's like above my area of expertise. So I mean, I don't.
There is a way to do that. Yeah. So
Yeah. So that would be great. But still, you can copy and paste that into your browser, and it'll take you there. It may just take you an extra step. So, well, obviously, it's an extra step if you have to copy and paste anything. But
yeah.
what I and then what else I thought was funny is like when we walked into the venue right there where they were scanning tickets and everything, there was that sign on the wall back behind the counter there that said no moshing, no crowd surfing.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was one other thing that it said on there, I can't remember what it was. And then like we're standing, because we got there, what did we got to the venue, what, like 40 minutes, 35 40 minutes before the show started. So we
Yeah.
were,
Something like that. Yeah.
so Susie, she was able to get a bite to eat and something to drink. So but we were standing around and everything. And then once we worked our way up to the front before the concert started, the very opening, it seemed like the opening guitar riff to the Ultra Violence, and then the first mosh pit started right when the. So I mean, I don't know how the hell they expect to keep that from happening.
Well, I mean, you have to expect that in an old school speed metal show. I mean,
Right.
you're not. I mean, if you're not, then obviously you don't follow the scene as much as you should.
Yeah.
But
No
uh,
kidding.
but but yeah, I mean, even if it was something more modern, I mean, a lot of the modern bands you have, would have been in there, and it would have been a mosh pit, and I mean, I've seen some crazy shit. So
Mm-hmm.
even at one of the festivals, I've seen people moshing to Joan Jett. So I mean, I have seen some crazy shit.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see some
Right.
uh,
Well.
more or
Well.
less known band being there and people be moshing to it. So
Well, hell, they even had that sarcastic mosh pit to Bad Bad Leroy Brown before Testament came out.
that was hilarious. I sure wish I got that on video.
That was funny. I thought that was great. But I mean, everyone was having a blast.
Yeah, it was a pretty packed. I mean, it wasn't like so packed where you couldn't move, but I mean, it was pretty.
Right.
I think there was a pretty good bit of people there. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah. That was.
of course, I'm not going to waste anything, but we'll talk about the ongoing tour and some new announcements at the
Yeah.
Hitting the Road segment. So,
Right.
but yeah, I very much enjoyed it, and I would probably go see it 100 times.
Oh
But
man. I mean, that bill right there. Oh my God. I
yeah,
mean.
and then hopefully, when they come back around, the set list will be a little different too.
Yeah.
So you'll get to see a couple of different songs maybe. So
Well, I would figure for the second leg they probably would change it up a little bit because I'm sure even they don't want to sing the same goddamn songs every night.
no, well, no.
Especially when, like you say, you've been around since the '80s. It's like, why am I going to sing the same 17 songs for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
3 months straight?
yeah. When you got 20 albums, it's like,
Yeah, I know. So
oh
yeah,
man,
and then hell, even for the price, you can't go wrong, man. It's like it's $30 to go see those three bands. I mean,
yeah, that's like $10 a band.
yeah, you're talking about
that's unreal this day and age, really. So
yeah, you're talking about bang for your buck, man. I mean, you got it right there. They put on such a good show. But I mean, not just their performance. I mean, their performance was great, all three of them. But I mean, like the stage shows were great, even though it's a little bit more compact of a venue than probably maybe they would have liked. But I mean, still, Testament's setup was awesome. They had the two platforms that everybody stood on.
mhm.
You know, and then they
I
had
mean,
they had Dave Lombardo back there in the back
yeah,
just
yeah.
murdering
I
that fucking
I
drum
was,
kit.
I was about to say we get to see Dave Lombardo. So
Yeah, which that man is. out of his mind on the drums. I mean, I've seen Slayer before, but I mean, it's been 18 years since I've seen Slayer. But I mean, just to see him on the drum kit again and to be that close, because when I saw Slayer at Starwood during Ozfest, I mean, I wasn't anywhere near as close to the stage as I was the other night. So to actually be able to kind of stand there and actually watch him play, oh
right.
my God.
And dude, since we're talking about drummers, it was good seeing Tom Honey back with Exodus. So
Hell yeah, it was.
So he was he definitely didn't miss a beat. I think we were talking about on the way home. I said something to the effect of where I said those drums went into an alleyway and he mugged the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he was man, it was just so good all around.
I mean, and
and it was probably a who's who of speed metal guitarists. I mean,
God, who are you kidding?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, I know I told you, like we were talking. Well, I mean, we were talking about a lot of things, but it was like I told you, thinking about it from an entire, the whole lineup from start to finish. I got to thinking about it, and other than when I saw Megadeth open up for Iron Maiden, I can't really think of a lineup from start to finish that I liked so much. Because I got to see Pantera and White Zombie together back in the '90s, but then the opener was like I Hate God, and I was just like, eh,
Yeah.
So I've all the concerts that I've gone to, like I say, minus the festivals because those don't count, but like just single night tours, like the concerts that I've seen, there's always kind of one band I could have been like, take it or leave it, because I went to see Disturbed and Stone Sour, and then like Flyleaf was the opener, and with the exception of a couple songs, Flyleaf is just kind of like, well, that's not who I came to see, so stuff like that. But like you said, in theory, they could have completely flip-flopped the bill the other night, and I don't think anyone would have had like a super duper huge argument about it. Like if they decided they wanted to take turns and let Death Angel have an hour and a half,
Oh yeah, nobody would have complained about that. I don't think so.
Yeah, no. So but that's the thing, is you can't really say that with a whole lot of tours.
No, you can't. So. I mean, and then Steve Souza, he sounded really really well too. I was kind of that was like the only one that I was kind of like, I wonder what he's going to sound like live.
Yeah. But, I was curious about that too.
He's definitely moving a lot gingerly these days, but that's to be said. They're getting up there. So I mean, I think I said something about he was moving kind of like Ozzy up there, but
he kind of was.
But he was with it though. He was hyping people up. So
yeah, he was. Well, all frontmen do that, during like during like the like the solos and everything. But like at a show like that, if you need hyping up, then like you're probably need to check your heartbeat.
Yeah, right. I thought that was interesting that you pointed out that Chuck Billy was over there telling
he was. Yeah, he was running. He was running. He was what was he directing traffic to the sound crew? The sound guys at the side of the stage. Yeah, like you could see him. He would point to his ear and be like. Then he would point it. He would like at one point I saw him point at Eric Peterson and do this like this.
Yeah.
I think he may have told one of the guys to turn Alex Skolnick down just a touch at one point. So he was even during the show, he was trying to get all the balance of everything right, even during the performance. And so once I saw him do that the first time, I kind of like kept an eye on it. I was like, how many? So I mean, he was just keeping track of everything. I liked that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's an experienced lead vocalist right there. So,
oh yeah.
But yeah, they all sounded great. I mean, I thought it was a very, very good show. Probably, definitely one of my favorites I've been to.
Oh, I'd say that tour has got to be in my top 3 easy.
Yeah. For now, I mean, we got
right.
We got a big one next week too. So
yeah, we do.
metal tour of the year next week. So
And
we'll
hey,
probably be talking about that on Saturday morning. So
yeah, and I was actually on my way back from Dunkin' Donuts, and I was thinking, is like, what, we're going to recap a concert this week. We're more than likely going to recap a concert next week. I was like, that would be something I would love to get in the habit of doing, being able to recap a concert
yeah,
every week. Holy
yeah,
shit, man.
yeah. So I know, like, I know when I go on the festivals, I have to take notes because I can't. I probably wouldn't be able to remember everything I'd want to touch
Well,
on,
sure.
but because like by the third day, the first day is kind of like a blur. But uh, I mean, when you go to a festival, you're seeing like a lot of bands. Though it's not like you're going to see three or four bands, so
Hmm.
it's kind of gets it runs together at some point. I know it kind of sounds crazy, but it really does. But
Well, I mean, how many bands are on the Blue Ridge Bill? Like 175?
yeah, I mean it's there. I don't remember what the announcement was the other day, but it was up there. It was I should actually look. But yeah, it was up in the hundred, 30s at least. I can't, like I said, I can't actually remember the exact number. Probably I got it right here. Let's see, 141. So they're at 141 already. They still haven't announced everybody. So
Right. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying. I
so yeah,
mean,
you're probably looking at another, you know, 30 bands or so probably still to be announced maybe.
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, and like you said, that's across 4 days. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's, like you say, it's gonna run together.
yeah.
It's absolutely going to.
All right. Well, with that being said, I guess we better dig into this thing. So
Yeah, but if you guys get a chance to go see the Bay Strikes Back tour, if that tour comes, anywhere within, an hour and a half, 2 hours, like it did for us this past week, we both highly recommend going and seeing it for
oh
30
yeah,
bucks. For 30 bucks, you're going to be hard pressed to find three bands who are going to put on that good of a performance.
yeah. It was definitely worth $70 or $80 in my opinion. But
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
all right. Well, I guess we'll kick this thing off with some birthdays this week, 24th through the 30th. Uh, April 24th, we had Jack Blades, bassist for Damn Yankees and Night Ranger. We had Billy Gold, bassist for Faith No More. Well, what the hell did I do here? Uh, well, I'm gonna have to come back to that one. I have no idea what I did there. Brian Marshall, bassist for Creed, uh, and Alter Bridge. Oh, I know what it is. And then I had Joey Vera, bassist for Armored Saint. Kellen Quinn, vocalist and keyboards for Sleeping with Sirens. So April 24th was a bassist day, looks like. So we had
I guess even bassists get their day every now and then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's like weird when you see them, like all of them. Like, wow, that's pretty
Right.
crazy. April 25th, Billy Rankin, guitarist for Nazareth. Ben Johnston, drummer for Beefy Clyro. April 26th, we had John Corabi, a guitarist and singer, most notably for Motley Crue from '92 to '96. Of course, George Jordanson, drummer for Slipknot from '95 to 2013, and unfortunately, we know he passed away last year. Um, we had Jane Werman, a keyboardist for Children of Bottom. April 27th, we've had Paul Ace Frehley, guitarist for Kiss and Frehley's Comet. We had Will Boyd, bassist for Evanescence. April 29th, we had Mark Kendall, guitarist for Great White. And then April 30th, we had Apollo Jr., bassist for Sepultura from '84 to '92, and of course with Morbid Visions. So that was the birthday this week. So happy birthday to all those on there. And then the people that I forgot, I apologize. Happy birthday to you. And then, of course, as always, if anybody out there had a birthday this week, happy birthday to you as well. Hope it was a good one. And if you're spending it with us today, I appreciate that as well. So, uh, Speaking of I hit that Mark Kendall, and I having to think about the documentary on the fire. I still haven't watched that yet, so I'll have to take some time to watch that. So,
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either.
actually, Dee Snyder is one of the guys that's doing some commentary on it. So I kind of like to hear his view on all of that. So,
Right.
all right, well, I guess we can kick into some news of the week. We had a pretty good bit of news this week as well. So it's
Yeah.
good that they're keeping us busy on that end, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're keeping us busy, but I mean, there's been a lot of roster shakeups on some of these bands here this week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we'll get to that obviously here in just a minute. But unfortunately, um, as is the case too often, we're gonna off with somebody passing away. Over at blabbermouth.net, we have Randy Rand, the founding bassist of 1980s hard rockers Autograph, has passed away. Prior to his death, Rand was the sole remaining original member of Autograph, which announced in February that it had signed a deal with Frontiers Music SRL and was working on material for a new studio album. On 26, Autograph issued the following statement, quote, "It is with great sorrow and heavy hearts to announce the unexpected passing of our cherished friend and founding member of Autograph, Randy Rand. At the time of his death, Randy was surrounded by his beautiful and infinite love, Regina Rand, and family. Although beyond devastated, we find some comfort and solace knowing the last couple of years have been some of his happiest as an artist and as a performer. Randy was a consummate optimist and was so excited to see the new direction, creativity, and renewed energy with the band. You could feel his excitement as it was quite palpable with his playing abilities, performances, and the way he interacted with his beloved fans. As many of you know, Randy arrived in the late 70s Sunset Strip music scene and was an accomplished musician and seasoned studio musician when he rose to prominence as an original member of Autograph. Fast forward 40 years, our brother was still making an impact in the music arena with his charismatic stage presence, musical contributions, most notably with our new album release and collaboration with Frontiers. Regrettably, there was only one Randy, a fabulous bassist, bandmate, brother, and human being. Collectively, in the last couple of years with this formation, we spent numerous hours that turned into something magical while creating an unbreakable bond few bands are fortunate enough to ever experience. We had that, and with that, we will continue to honor Randy Rand as he would want us to and honor our musical commitments and keep his legacy alive. At this time, we ask that you respect our privacy and we thank you for the continued love, support, and light that all of you have shown him and us as we navigate these sad days ahead of us." End quote. Autograph, whose hit Turn Up the Radio was a staple of the hard rock soundtrack of the 80s, disbanded in 1989, but in 2011, founding members Rand and guitarist Steve Lynch decided to meet up at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California. They rekindled their friendship first before even thinking about a musical reunion. With their personal relationship rebuilt, they made a collective decision to play again. "We approached our original singer, Steve Plunkett, about a reunion," Rand recalled. "He didn't have time to join the band again due to his busy schedule. He did give us his blessing to move forward, though, and that was important. We missed our fans. This is for them." End quote. Fully embracing the future, the remaining members began a search for a singer. They discovered some videos of singer, guitarist, songwriter Simon Daniels of Jailhouse, Flood, and 1RKO on YouTube, and instantly they sensed a connection and knew that he was the right fit for the band. "He was perfect to front Autograph," said Rand. "His hard-edged, bluesy voice and massive riffing sharpen our edge. He's given us a new energy, and he impressed us immediately. We all had a euphoric feeling after the first rehearsal," Rand added. Rand said that during his long-lived career, he had only loved playing with two drummers. One is the great late One is the great late Randy Castillo, and then there was Autograph's new drummer, Mark Weiland. As Rand put it, quote, "We're heavier than before. At the same time, the melodic vocals and catchy hooks are still an integral part of our sound," end quote. In 2019, Lynch decided to leave the group to pursue different musical styles and was replaced by international monster shredder guitarist Jimmy Bell of House of Lords and Max Explosion. Autograph has released seminal albums such as Sign In Please in 1984, That's the Stuff in 1985, and Loud and Clear in 1987. Over the course of their career, they have played shows with everybody from Motley Crue and Dio to Van Halen and Aerosmith. Successfully touring again since the beginning of 2014, Autograph has strived and shined at arenas, casinos, major music festivals such as M3, Masters of Rock Cruise, Moon Dance Jam, 80s in the Park, Grand Rock Timber, Cat Club Festival at Irvine Meadows, and Firefest UK, among others. In 2017, Autograph released a new album on ex-Megadeth member David Ellefson's EMP label group, hitting number 21 on the Billboard Classic Rock sales chart, as well as placing two new singles on the top 10 hard rock media based radio chart. So, our condolences to Randy Rand's family, and we wish the rest of the band good luck moving forward.
I guess I will say that was actually one of my first concerts I ever went to was a festival that Autograph was headlining. So it was probably in '87, I think.
Nice.
So, yeah. Man, I always hate to start off like that, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we do it way too often. So,
Yeah,
I mean, a part of life is death, unfortunately. So,
that's true.
all right. So my first one is from Metal Hammer, I believe. I actually didn't write it down, but I think that's where I started this week. So, uh, Killswitch and Gage have discussed their enduring impact on metalcore over the last 20 years. Frontman Jesse Leach has picked out an example of modern metalcore band that have become incredible in their own right. Speaking to Employ the Serves, Justine Jones, in the latest issue of Metal Hammer, Jesse and guitarist Adam Dukowitz debate whether the wave of metalcore bands that exploded out of the underground in the wake of Killswitch's success was a direct result of the Massachusetts heavyweights' influence. Nope, not really, argues Adam. People always say that we've influenced so many bands, but each band has their own identity. I don't think anyone ever tried to rip us off. Jesse disagrees. I have a different perspective, replies the singer. I was only half paying attention to the scene because after I left Killswitch in 2002, I got more into Doom and Stoner Rock, but these younger bands felt derivative to me. The good ones found their sound over time, but there was an oversaturation of bands who were churning out this big riff, heavy verse, melodic chorus thing. It felt tired, like labels were looking for those bands because they sounded like a band who were becoming successful. When Justine suggests that every scene suffers from those issues, but that the good bands find a way to stay relevant, Jesse picked out one modern band in particular that have risen above the metalcore. Also rants. Sure, and I look at a band like Architects. He responds, they come up around that time and they've turned into an incredible band. The ones that had nothing else have been forgotten. It's the difference between starting a band because you're passionate and starting one because you want to look cool and get chicks. You can read more from Jesse, Adam, and Justine in the latest issue of Metal Hammer, which is on sale now. And there's digital downloads also on their website. Killswitch fans can also pick up an exclusive Killswitch Engage bundle featuring a hand signed lyric sheet from Metal Hammer's online store. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I have to disagree with them. I mean, Architects is a good band. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they're like the I don't think they're like Killswitch where people are going to other bands are going to be like, oh well, comparing them to Architects. You know what I mean? I guess if that makes any sense to you,
Yeah, it does. I don't, and I don't, I now I'll admit I don't really know a whole lot about the Architect's catalog, in its entirety, but I don't see the comparison being accurate.
they have grown. Don't get me wrong. If you listen to Architect's first album and then you listen to their latest album, you could tell the growth there. But I just don't see them being a kill switch caliber band. There's nothing wrong with the Architects. They're a great band. I mean, they could definitely headline their own shows, all that good stuff. I just don't see them being in a talk of comparisons. Like if you start talking about the top 10 metalcore bands around, then yeah, they're probably going to be in the conversation. But just to say, oh well, these newer bands coming up are going to be compared to Architects, I still don't see that. I mean, especially if Killswitch is still around. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, as long as Killswitch is still around, everybody's going to compare to Killswitch. I mean, that's just unfortunate. Just like with new metal, everybody's going to be compared to Corn because they're given the flag to carry the that genre of metal. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like with anything, you have a certain band that stands out when you mention some genre. Just like if we were to say the melodic metal or whatever, you would probably have a lot of bands come to mind, but
Mm-hmm.
you would have one in particular you think that everybody compare it to. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And
there's
it's
a lot of those bands out there too. So it's
yeah,
kind of
that's
wild to say that you're narrowing it down to one. But
right. And
but
it's actually kind of funny you mentioned corn when mentioning new metal, because I can't think of really anybody who sounds like corn.
except
Not not really.
the chaosism, chaoism, or whatever their name
Yeah,
is.
I mean, well, I mean, the lead singer of that band, he sounds exactly like Jonathan Davis, but I mean, I still don't think their sound is.
No, no, they're
They would probably be
musically,
the closest,
yeah, musically, no, they don't.
right? Yeah, musically they don't sound like Corn, but that lead
And
singer sounds exactly like Jonathan Davis. But
well, the bad thing with them is it's like he only sounds like that on the songs that are popular. Like if you go
yeah,
and listen to like their full albums, he doesn't sound like that on every song.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
So
kind of wild that but
yeah, all right. So I guess we might as well start talking about these bands who are having turnover. So
yeah, yeah, that's going to be a couple of stories in
yeah.
deep here. So
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. I accidentally closed one of my tabs, but I was able to catch it before it went away. All right. So because that would have gotten rid of 4 stories.
oh wow,
That would have been bad. Okay. Actually, the funny thing is, I actually found another story late last night about a band who had another member leave. So, all right. So let's see. What actually, I take that back. Let me talk about this other one first, because this one's a little bit more serious. I'm moving over to the PRP.com. And this one, I hate. I thought about leading with this one until I saw the story about Randy Rand passing away, because this one pissed me off. A death metal concert at the Marquee Lounge in San Bernardino, California, turned deadly this past weekend. The violence is said to have broken out during a set by Los Angeles, California death metal band Crawling Through Tartarus this past Saturday night, April 23rd. So this happened last weekend, but obviously we had already done the show and everything
right.
else. So this is, it's a week old, but there was no way I wasn't gonna, talk about this. Um, with 32-year-old James Vincent Dixon pronounced dead at the scene. 4 others were said to have been injured by gunfire during the incident, one of whom was vocalist Matt Holzbug of the aforementioned band. I hope I pronounced your name right, buddy. 3 of those victims were transported to local area hospitals, while a fourth self-transported. According to his bandmate, drummer Xander Dixon, Holzbug was hit by 2 bullets and transported to hospital to undergo surgery. An update since shared on Facebook by Holzbug's wife reads, quote, "Update on Matthew. I just got off the phone with the doctor. He had his second surgery this morning that lasted 3 hours, and it went really well. There was talk about needing a third surgery in the future, but not during this hospital stay. I asked if there was any idea of when I could bring him home, and he said if not by the end of the week, then next week he'll be home. The doctor told me how fast everyone reacted to help Matthew made a huge difference on him not losing his leg Saturday night. The
Wow.
doctor said he came very close. So huge thank you to Xander Dixon for reacting so fast and using your belt as a tourniquet. The doctor wanted me to tell you that saved his life by doing that because his artery was just pumping away. I owe you huge. Because of your quick thinking, my children will be able to see their father by next week," end quote. Per local media news reports filed earlier this week, a police investigation into the matter continues with no immediate suspect or motive having been identified. That's the thing that gets me. Not the motive part, because I mean, if the guy doesn't want to talk, I guess he's not going to talk. But if the dude was in the crowd and he started shooting, I could see. I get it. People would start scrambling, but at the same time, no one saw the guy, and then at some
Yeah,
point, no,
somebody had to see him.
yeah, and then after he stopped firing, nobody tackled him. He was able to make it out without anybody grabbing him. I have a hard time with that one, but the way surveillance is this day and age, I guarantee you the concert venue had plenty of cameras, and I'm sure they at
Well,
least have a
yeah. Well, hopefully it's not the video of like convenience store robberies because we'll never find it. But
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, not to make jokes, but but that's a damn good point. It is.
I don't understand that. Like we're in a technology based society, and we still can't get a positive feed on a camera to. I mean, I don't get that. Like it's like
Especially,
it's still pixelated or some shit. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, you know, Nintendo 64-bit shit. Well, here we go. I mean, it's like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, especially when you see some of the images that we have gotten from fucking Mars.
right, right. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, it boggles my mind. But
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I've seen like some pictures and stuff like that. Like, oh, here's a steal from the camera shot we got, and I said, oh yeah, I've seen that guy on Minecraft. You know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
but
I'm glad.
hopefully they'll find out who did it. Man, that's just like I don't understand either. Like, how did he get in with it? I need to know. I want to know that because I
Right.
mean, with the incident with Dimebag, I would think that a lot of these clubs would have a tighter security system these days.
Well, I mean, hell,
I just don't get that, man.
I mean, hell, Thursday night we got a pat down and we got a wanding before we went into the venue.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, I had to take my earplugs out of my pocket. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So it was.
That was
Like,
the that
got to take that out. I'm like, okay.
that was the only thing I didn't take out of my pocket. But I mean, I had my keys, my wallet, and my phone in my hand. I had my earplugs in my pocket, and then my phone, my little phone holder was on my side. But I had everything else out and in my hand. But I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with that. Got to. I mean, hell, when you go, oh shit, when oh, there he is. Okay, yeah. But no, you're
I'm
good.
sorry. I mean, I apologize. Allergies are killing me today. So if I flake out, that's what I'm taking
Okay.
care of that. So
All right. But like when you go to the Ryman, you got to walk through one of those, like those airport metal detectors. You got
right.
to walk through one of those. I mean, I don't have a problem with that shit. I've got nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide.
I went to what was it? It was some show we went to. Um, oh, it was the one in Atlanta. We went through. It was kind of like that, and they actually had the ones where you stood there, and it went around you and stopped, and then
Oh
they said,
shit.
"Okay, you're good." Yeah, so I mean, it was high tech. So I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
Yeah.
You know, and the venue was kind of like as small as or not really small, but it was kind of about the size of the one we were just in. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was that uh, some big venue like Bridgestone or nothing. It was
Yeah.
kind of smaller venue. So I was kind of surprised that they had that much of a or they had that good of a system there. But
Yeah.
I will say this like that. The Coca-Cola Roxy down there was really very well put together. I think they had security all as far as the line went back. They had a security person, so they had
Nice.
so they had it where they would be like, okay, you can cross the street, okay, you can go here, so they were directing the whole way all the way into the building. So it was really, and I think that's why it went so fast. Like I mean,
Probably.
I was in a like we were all the way down the block and then across the street when we started, and then we were in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So so it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I think a lot more. I think the thing is like you got to be willing to pay for that extra security. I mean,
Yeah.
and two, you got to think on the long run. You can't think of okay, well, I'm just going to get through the night and then I'll worry about it later. I mean, you got to think you may not get through the night, just like this venue right here didn't get through the night. So,
Mm-hmm.
so like I said, I don't know their security protocol. I'm not going to dog them on that, but definitely they need to do some upgrading. It sounds
Yeah.
like so.
Yeah. I mean, no one should ever have to. No one should ever have to, go to a concert or like last weekend we went to see a movie. But you should be able to go to a concert, well, you should be able to go anywhere, but I mean, you should be able to go to a concert, you should be able to go to a movie and whatever, and not have to worry about if you're gonna take a bullet to your leg or whatever. I mean, one guy
Right.
died, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy. that guy was earlier in the day. That guy was telling people, "Yeah, I'm going to this show tonight. I'll tell you about it tomorrow," and he never got a fucking chance. You know?
Right.
Fucking hate that shit, man.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, we're supposed to be doing these things to get away from worries like that,
Right.
and to come together to have a good time, and put work stress and stuff like that behind you. And we shouldn't have to like stress for our fear for our safety somewhere where we're supposed to be unwinding. So
Yeah. Yeah. At worst, the only thing you should be worried about at a metal show is taking an elbow to the teeth.
yeah, right. It's wow. Which since we're on those subjects, I mean, we really should talk about some concert etiquette around here, man. It's like
Yep. Might as well.
I think I've said this before on here, but everybody wants to record some parts of the show. I get
Mhm.
it. I do it. Take pictures, whatever. My thing is if you are already a foot taller than everybody in front of you, you have no reason to be way the fuck up here in
Yeah.
front of the people behind you. You can be eye level and get
Yeah.
what you need. Get what you need. There's no sense in that shit, man. I don't fucking get it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, and I even had to look around some dude because like you say, he was standing in front of me, and he had his like exactly like you were talking about. He had his phone above his
yeah,
head.
like why? Why? I mean, I don't understand. Like,
So
you're not going to get anything any different from there than you do here. I mean,
right. Well, hell,
you still see the stage. So I mean,
you had your camera right here in front of your face.
right? I mean, because that's you know. So what?
And yeah, so
The reason why is because I can still do this and watch the show. You know what
right.
I mean? So it's kind of like I can kind of like double move. I can look and look. So it's like you're up here, you just kind of like okay. Well, they start moving around, and then next thing you know, you going back and watching the video, and then nobody's in the damn picture. So
Right.
because you never moved, you're like
Yeah.
because you don't know what the fuck you're doing because you're way up here. You don't see
Yeah.
anything.
And all I did was take a few pictures of each band because
Yeah,
me personally, I took some pictures that way everyone knew. It was like, hey, see, I was here, and this is where I was standing, and this is the view I had. You know, but like the way that I do it, and like the way that you do it, I get. But like that guy that was standing in front of me, that dude was like just
hmm
he was blocking my view, and then there were other people who were like the whole damn concert, they were just like this.
yeah. Like
It's like you're
why the
missing
whole? I mean,
everything. You're missing
yeah,
everything.
I understand. Like like I got a couple of songs that I was like, okay, if they play this, I'm gonna get it. I didn't know what they were
Right.
playing. I didn't know what they were going to play because I didn't look at the set list beforehand. So, you know, Exodus came out with Toxic Waltz, and then they played Blacklist, which was two of the songs I said if they play those, I'm getting those.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, thankfully, and at the same time, thankfully, Steve also said what song they were going to play basically before they played it too,
right,
so that
yeah,
helped.
yeah. Testament did that a little bit too.
Chuck Billy did do that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did that a lot.
Death Angel only did it like twice, I think. So they were kind
Yeah,
of keeping everybody on their toes. But
which is fine.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's fine with me. So, but I did like the fact that a lot of those, I know we're getting back off on this subject, but I did like the fact that they played a lot of their old school songs. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
really get a lot off their new albums.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I think Exodus only played two or
Yeah, from
three,
Persona Non Grata, yeah.
and then hang on a second.
Testament only played two
Let me
too, I think.
yeah, let me go back to the set list to the let me look at it. Let me go back real quick and check it out. Let's see. One,
I think
two,
Testament only
three.
played two titles.
Exodus played 3 songs off of Persona Non Grata, and then Testament played 3 songs off of Titans of Creation too. So each band only played 3 new ones. And hell, at the very end of Exodus's set, they played Bonded by Blood, Toxic Waltz, and Strike of the Beast. Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
right.
right at the end. And
Yeah.
then hell, even Testament, they played Over the Wall, Into the Pit, and Disciples of the Watch at the very end of their
Yeah.
set. So I mean, that was such good ways to end each set, man. I mean,
Yeah, and I think what's the Death Angel ended theirs with? I can't remember.
Death Angel ended theirs with Thrown to the Wolves.
Yeah,
But then right before that, they played the title track to Humanicide. So
Yeah.
but yeah, they started off with the ultraviolence and ended up with Thrown to the Wolves. Exodus came out with the beatings will continue until morale improves. That's how they started their set. Holy shit.
Right.
And then they ended up with Strike of the Beast. And then Testament came out to Children of the Next Level and finished up with Disciples of the Watch.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to that, it's like we had a couple that was holding a flag up, the Testament flag. They was holding that up in the middle of everybody. I'm just like, dude, I get it, but you could like hold it up for like a minute or two, but you were like holding it up through like entire songs. Like, don't do that bullshit. Like,
yeah, and they were also because I mean, you and Susie and we were standing, I figure approximately 10 feet from the barricade, and those people were
right.
standing in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are basically down in front in the pit, holding up a flag in front of people's faces.
Yeah. Yeah. Where nobody can see anything. So
Right.
yeah. So yeah.
Just bullshit, man.
All right. I'm gonna let you take over. I got to run in here real quick and pass off some diapers to the.
Okay.
So,
Got to do duty.
yeah, just I'll be right back. So.
All right. So we're gonna go back. Well, I'm gonna stay at the PRP. We've got technical death metal outfit Rivers of Nile have announced the departure of rhythm guitarist keyboardist John Topore from their ranks. A statement issued by the band on April 27th reads, quote, "After nearly 8 years of working together, Rivers of Nile have decided to part ways with guitarist Jonathan Topore. Like any relationship, sometimes it becomes clear that it's simply time for a change that will be in the best interest of everyone involved. We love John, and we still consider him to be a great friend to all of us in the band. With that being With that being said, don't you hate it when you go to a website and then like you're on a website and then you're reading something and then an ad pops up and it either bumps your story up or bumps it down what you're trying to read? That's what keeps happening here. So sorry about that. I don't give a fuck about your phone right now, Samsung. With that being said, we would like to announce that our very old friend Andy Thomas from Black Crown Initiate and Where Owls Know My Name, guest vocal music video Tambourine fame, will be stepping in for our upcoming headlining tour with Fallujah, Alluvial, and Warforged. As a fellow Reading, Pennsylvania area native, Andy has been passively and actively involved with Rivers of Nile since our inception, and there is no other person that we trust more than him to take on this position. We look forward to seeing all of you on tour," end quote. As mentioned above by the band, the group will be out on a headlining run this spring with Fallujah, Alluvial, and Warforged. The dates of that trek include, and then blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure we actually talked about that that tour in a previous Hitting the Road segment. So I won't go back over that because in order to avoid being repetitive, I will say that they are coming to Nashville May 13th. So any local listeners, they'll be able to do that. Everybody else, you can go and check out the tour dates for that. So not to be outdone, also over at the PRP, Hollow Front have announced the exit of their drummer. Michigan metalcore outfit Hollow Front. I didn't know they were from Michigan. Michigan metalcore outfit Hollow Front have announced the exit of their drummer Devin Attard. I don't know if it's Attard or Attard. Attard. That's just how it's spelled. Both the band and Attard himself commented on the matter in a joint statement. It issued yesterday, April 27th. It reads, yesterday when the article came out. So April 27th was Wednesday. It reads, quote, "It's with a heavy heart that we must announce the departure of our drummer, Devin Attard. First and foremost, there is no bad blood between us. We've mutually decided to part ways. We wish nothing but happiness and success for one another. Devin has been a huge part of Hollow Front for the past 3 years. We love him dearly and are very excited to see what he does next." This comes from Devin, quote, It's hard to put into words how grateful and appreciative I am for how embracing the Hollow Front community has been since I joined the band at 19 years old. All of the conversations I've had at the merch table with so many amazing people, and I heard of how we played an impact on someone's life is the reason metalcore and touring so much. I always love and appreciate every fan and supporter that got the band to where it is now, and it's only starting. I'm so excited for this band to thrive and continue to kick ass along the way. I will always look back and appreciate all the moments I had with the guys. I can't wait to watch everyone succeed. As for me, I need to follow and do what I feel is most important as an artist. I'm going to be making so many changes and experiencing a whole new side of things that I can't wait to share with everyone. And I hope I get to see some familiar faces along the way. I love you all. See you soon. End quote. You can catch the band out this summer with August Burns Red, We Came as Romans, and Void of Vision. And those tour dates are at the bottom of the story there. And if I remember correctly, we also talked about this tour on a previous Hitting the Road segment also. So a little bit of seems to be a lot of lineup shaking up going on. We seem to have like one or two of these stories every week here lately.
Yeah.
So I actually just got through both of my roster stories while you were gone.
I guess I can go with mine then. I guess. So.
Yeah.
So mine is over from Metal Injection. Suicide Silence has parted ways with drummer Alex Lopez, who played in the band between 2006 and present day. Suicide Silence has announced Ernie Iniguez, who drummed on the 2020 record Become the Hunter, as their live fill-in drummer for the time being. Alongside this news also comes the announcement of a new song called Thinking in Tongues, due out on May 3rd, which is next week, actually here in a couple of days. So Thinking in Tongues will be the band's final effort with Lopez. Suicide Silence and our longtime drummer Alex Lopez have mutually agreed to part ways. We wish him nothing but the best moving forward and encourage you all to follow his future endeavors in both music and visual arts. Our good friend Ernie Iniguez, who recorded drums on Become the Hunter, will be drumming with us on the upcoming Chaos and Carnage tour and European festival run. That all said, we'll be premiering a new single next week, Alex's final studio performance with the band called Thinking in Tongues, that we're very excited for you all to hear. It will be premiering on Sirius XM Liquid Metal on May 3rd with a full digital release and music video on May 4th. It seems like that one was kind of mutual as well, so that's always a good thing. So
Yeah, the other, I don't know how much of
I caught the end of the last one.
Caught the end of the last one. Yeah, so I mean, we've had 3 bands over the past week announce, some sort of departure, but the good thing is like all 3 of them were, hey, we love you, we want the best for you. Yeah, same thing to you guys. Hope everything works out. So, it's roster, band lineups change all the time. So I mean, but it's always nice when you can, when you hear that everyone, was on board and everything was amicable. When people start throwing each other under the bus and stuff like that, that's kind of hard to read. But
well, speaking of that, it's kind of like amazing to me. Like we're talking, I can't remember exactly when Newstead left the band, but I think it was early 2000s. So. Mm-hmm. If you think about when he left, and we're still like reading news stories about it now, which is
right,
freaking crazy.
Which is crazy, like going on 20 years later. Yeah. There was for everyone who's not, and I should have held on to it, but I didn't. But I posted it over at the Facebook page. Mm-hmm. There was a just to do a quick recap. There was a story that came out earlier this week where Metallica got pissed off at Jason because they found out that he did a collaboration with Devin Townsend. Mm-hmm. And I had never heard that story until this past week. And I was like, but that basically just proves Jason's point about how we're still, I mean, I guarantee you a lot of people knew about that, but I had never heard about that. I don't know.
I've never heard that either.
Yeah. Still getting new information about stuff that happened within that band from 20 years ago. It is crazy.
Yeah. The news article headline that got me was Jason explains how Metallica was frustrated with him for doing a collaboration, and it said prior to Echo Brain. I said, oh, wait a minute, prior to Echo Brain, that's
right.
I never heard that before, so
yeah,
that got you have my attention. So, mm-hmm. but yeah, so like I said, it's kind of crazy. Like we've talked about a few over the past few weeks where they were not
right.
So much a mutual thing. So, mm-hmm. Even we go back and talk about the one band where he was just like, "Oh, I thought everything was going great." Well, then they were like, "Hell, he never shows up to anything." So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Right.
it's kind of like some of them are just naive and not aware of the situation, I guess. So,
Yeah. Of course, every once in a while you'll come across one of these stories, where, like the guys playing the music will talk shit about the singer, and
hmm
then the singer does nothing but trying to do that shit, like, in the Matrix, like dodging all these accusations.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
right.
nope, I didn't do that. I didn't do that either. But, so
And I still have not read that article with Burton C. Bell. I actually would need to go back and read that because I'm kind of interested on his take on kind of. I mean, we kind of know that there's been a rift there for a while between him and
yeah.
Dino, so
Hmm.
it wasn't. It was like I said. I guess it was a shock on the timing of it. Uh,
Yeah.
it wasn't really as much of a shock as he left. It was just more of a shock on the timing because they had just came out with that last album, and
Hmm.
and and I was like, wow, this, and it was like some of his best work vocally, I thought, and for them to like part ways like shortly thereafter, I was like, wow, that's freaking nuts. But whatever. But
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I've got my next one is over at wearethepit.com. Let's see then. So this one came out on the 25th. So this one's a little older, but still. Over the weekend, being this past weekend, over the weekend, a group of robbers tried to rob Archspire of their equipment while the band were asleep. Thankfully, though, one of the members woke up in time. The technical death metal band Archspire are currently on tour with Entheos, Inferi, and Vulvodynia. I think another tour we also talked about here. During the night while in Austin, Texas, robbers attempted to steal from Archspire's trailer while the band were asleep. Band drummer Spencer Pruitt thankfully woke up in time and stopped the robbery from taking place. News of this attempted robbery comes from the Archspire Facebook page. Per a post the band shared on their Facebook page, quote, in all caps, someone tried to steal our trailer last night. We had our van parked in a hotel parking lot, and two trucks rolled up and started trying to detach our trailer from our van. Luckily, our drummer Spencer was sleeping in the back. He woke up and scared the shit out of them, and they peeled off. We were so close to having our entire touring rig stolen, including merch, gear, clothing, everything. What we are trying to say is every night on this tour could be our last, so if you're on the fence about coming to a show, don't sleep on getting tickets.
right,
And it's just, again, this isn't the first time we've also talked about bands getting their stuff stolen. I don't remember the name of the band, but earlier this year we talked about how a band got some of their stuff stolen. They
hmm
tracked down the people who took their stuff, confronted them at their house, and ended up becoming friends with them.
oh my god,
It's fucking weird. But I mean, it's just, I mean, why can't people just leave other people's shit alone? It's not yours.
yeah.
It's
Well,
just
did we
so
just
annoying.
was it Corn or somebody like a couple weeks ago that somebody was trying to break in, but they didn't get in.
I can't remember who it was, but
Yeah, I feel like I thought it was Corn, but I could have been wrong.
I would have to look back. But thankfully the Archspire drummer is a light sleeper.
Yeah, right.
Especially if, like you said, if it was true, if they would have gotten that trailer, that would have been all of their shit for the entire tour.
Hmm. Yeah, I just had a friend of mine. He actually plays country music, but he's still a good friend of mine. He actually was talking about he's coming from a show and he lost his bass guitar out of his trunk,
Oh damn!
and then he realized that he pulled over to get it, and then he by the time he pulled over, got out and looked, it was gone. Somebody
Jesus Christ.
grabbed it, and took off. I was like, what the hell, man? Like, and what's so sad is like he's got some sentimental stuff, in there with it, like a
Mm-hmm.
guitar strap that somebody had personally made for him.
Yeah.
So his initials are embroidered into some stuff in there. So it was, that's the thing is like people are taking stuff and they don't realize how sentimental it is to somebody else. So, just because it's just a guitar, it may be just a guitar to you, but who knows the sentimental value of that to the person that it actually belonged to. So
And that's another thing. You got the sentimental value of the object to the person, but for the person who took, like that guy's guitar, that person who took it, they didn't give a fuck about the fact that
No,
it was your friend's guitar. All they did was like, hey, I could probably sell this.
sell this. Yep, exactly.
All it was a fucking snatch and grab and a way for them to get money. That's all. Same thing with those jackasses who tried to steal, that trailer for Archspire. They would have tried to sell all the equipment, get as much money as they could for it. It's just, damn, it's just irritating.
It is. Yeah. I don't get people. People are going to people, as we
people
like
are going to people. Exactly. Yep.
All right, my next story is over some good news from over at Metal Injection. Mudvayne originally reunited in 2021 and played their first show back at the Incarceration Music and Festival Tattoo Festival this September. Mudvayne has since been scheduled for numerous other festival appearances, as well as an upcoming tour this summer with Rob Zombie, Static X, and Power Man 5000, which that would be a hell of a tour.
Yeah, it would.
And now, in an interview with Avenged Sevenfold bassist Johnny Christ in his Drinks with Johnny podcast, vocalist Chad Gray has revealed that Mudvayne plans on writing new material hopefully soon. Gray had made mention of the material at the end of the interview, saying he's excited to hear new Avenged Sevenfold and hopes that Mudvayne is going to be working on some new shit soon too. I'm really excited to hear your new shit, and Mudvayne is hopefully going to be working on some new shit soon too. So awesome! I can't wait to definitely get our heads together. Maybe we could Oh, they actually put that in there twice. Maybe could do some. Okay, maybe could do some touring or something someday. That's a typo on their end, not mine. Yeah. Sorry. A new Mudvayne record would be the first new material since their 2009 self-titled album. Hopefully that would be some awesome news for 20. I would say 2023 at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely go. Yeah, I would definitely go see Avenged Sevenfold and Mudvayne at the same time.
That would be an awesome show.
I would go to that. But hey, as an aside, Johnny Christ, how about this? Less podcast, more record.
Yeah, there you go. well, on his end, it wasn't his recording that's holding him up. So I mean,
well, that is true. That's true.
So it was more of the orchestra shit, so that was holding him up. So
yeah, that is true. All right,
and I'm sure he don't have as much say so as Shadows probably does. So.
Well, yeah, that's actually a good point. Sorry, but still, I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but earlier in the week there was a story that said that they're actually still trying to finish up that album.
Yeah. Well, they had already said it was going to be end of this year, first of next year. So I'm probably going to say it's probably going to be the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
At this point, which is fine. I mean, we've got a lot to look forward to already this year. So I mean, if we wind up with like I said, if Mudvayne actually works on something and releases it in 2023, so you got to look forward to. We already know Avenged Sevenfold possibly, and Disturbed. I already said.
Oh my god.
Early 2023, so you got Avenged Sevenfold and Disturbed already on the books for 2023. So,
dude, Avenged Sevenfold, Disturbed, and Mudvayne, make that shit happen.
Yeah. Oh, and Godsmack. I forgot about Godsmack. So, he actually said that their album was probably going to be out first of next year too. So, yeah. So I mean, there's three bands right there that you got to look forward to. So,
yeah.
And you never know. And you never know with Avenged Sevenfold because I mean they're kind of. They're kind of like, oh, hey, here's a new album. Like, what the fuck? Who knew about that?
That's true.
So you can't never tell.
That's very true. All right, I'm going over to. That's all the not so great news I have.
Yeah, we're good.
So that's enough for a week.
That's enough. Yeah, that's
definitely enough. So head over to metalinjection.net for a minute. Dio's 1983 classic Holy Diver has been certified double platinum by the RIAA, meaning the album has sold 2 million copies. The RIAA awards one sale to an album when an album sells one copy, had 10 individual tracks sold from the album, or had 3,750 ad-supported or 1,250 paid or subscription streams. Holy Diver was Ronnie James Dio's debut album after leaving Black Sabbath. The band at the time consisted of Dio's son of a bitch. I lost my place because the damn story jumped on me because of an ad that popped up. Hold on. Give me one sec. The band at the time consisted of Dio's Black Sabbath bandmate Vinny Appice on drums, ex-Rainbow bassist Jimmy Bain, and future Def Leppard guitarist Vivian Campbell. Holy Diver originally went platinum in 1989 and contains arguably two of the greatest heavy metal songs ever written, Rainbow in the Dark and Holy Diver. case could be made for both of those.
Mm-hmm.
While we're here, let's also collectively recognize that Caught in the Middle should have been an absolute radio banger back in the day. What a song. In related Dio news / remembering how kick-ass the man was, Dio, Dreams Never Die, the long-awaited Ronnie James Dio documentary, received its first ever public screening at the South by Southwest Film Festival. In a previous interview with Ronnie's widow and longtime manager Wendy Dio, Dreamers Never Die features personalities like Rob Halford and Jack Black. I saw the first cut of it. It was very emotional. It's very different from Dio's autobiography because the book finishes in 1986 with Ronnie playing Madison Square Garden. But the documentary goes all the way through his life till the end, and it was very emotional. It was like what I was watching it with my publicist and a person from BMG who are funding the documentary, we all cried. It was very emotional, but it's really interesting and really good, and I really would like to see that. Mm-hmm. That last part being mine. Right. So congratulations to RJD. Well overdue, I would say. But
oh yeah,
and Rainbow in the Dark, Holy Diver.
Yeah,
there you go.
I was following you along with you, and the name jumped out, Vivian Campbell, and just to think of the bands that guy's been involved in is unreal.
I'm telling you.
I mean, Dio, Whitesnake, and currently with Def Leppard. So I mean, he's definitely not been in a nobody band, that's for sure. So
right.
That guy's been lucky to land some pretty sweet gigs. So
yeah, he has.
All right, my next one is over at Loudwire in the light of Joey Jordison's birthday. Custom Lucky Cat figurines fashioned after the appearance of metal bands, including Slipknot, Korn, and Mudvayne, are currently all the rage on TikTok. That's due to the work of local crooks, otherwise known as Australian designer and illustrator Chelsea Vandenberg. She created the welcoming statuettes that look like members of the influential nu metal acts. The detailed creations add some oomph to the time-honored Japanese mannequin. Oh golly, Mannequinico. Sorry, it kind of like went from one line to another, so I'm trying to put it together. Tradition of beckoning cat guardian figurines, the kinds of collectible often believed to bring good luck to the owner. This week, a TikTok video emerged of Chelsea's Craig Jones Lucky Cat, styled after the Slipknot keyboardist. It's been viewed over 75,000 times so far, which I'm pretty sure it's more than that now because this was earlier in the week. So then there's the Lucky Cat she made for the late Slipknot drummer Joey Jordison. And of course, Joey Jordison died last year at 48 after he parted ways with the band in 2013. The video of that one is approaching a whopping 300,000 views on TikTok right now. And again, that was earlier in the week, so it's probably pushing the 500,000 by now, I'm sure. Chelsea describes herself as a nu metal lover, knick-knack collector, and the twisted mind behind local crooks on her official website, and that will be localcrooks.com.au. I get a lot of my inspiration from Japan, she explains. So inspired, I've gone back a total of 3 times. Everything there is cute, colorful, and has a character of its own. Add some horror and true crime to that mix, and you've got my own style down pat. Chelsea uses spray paint, acrylic paint, and paint pens to make her nu metal Lucky Cats. She's currently working on an entire nu metal Lucky Cat collection, promising 2 more of the figurines in a recent video. Local Crooks also makes hand-painted items that are available for purchase online as well. And it's pretty interesting. If you haven't seen those, you can look that up. Very cool. But I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to Pops, I guess, but a
little bit.
Yeah, but definitely, if you're into collectibles and you can wait a few days for overseas shipping, then
a few days,
probably more like 2 weeks, but
at least. But I showed that story to Angela last night, and I told her, I said Kayla would love that Joey Jordison one, the one you sent me the screenshot. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna go over to the website. I'm gonna see how much those cost, and I hope Kayla's not watching this episode, but please, I hope she's not watching yet, because that's I told Angela, I was like, that would be like a perfect Christmas gift for her. So yeah. All right. Well, I guess Jason had to sneeze again, but all right. So, bless you. So,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
all right. I'm gonna go back over to Blabbermouth here, um, for a little bit more, for a couple more stories about bands coming out with more stuff for us to ingest. Metallica's award-winning Blackened American Whiskey has announced its latest limited edition Blackened Kentucky Straight Rye double cask finished whiskey, dubbed Rye the Lightning, a play on words inspired by Metallica's 6 times platinum sophomore album Ride the Lightning. This expression is double finished in Madeira and rum casks and undergoes the proprietary black noise sonic enhancement process. Rye the Lightning is crafted from Kentucky straight rye whiskeys aged between 5 and 8 years and hand selected by blackened master distiller and blender Rob Dietrich. The whiskeys are then vatted and transferred for finishing in Madeira wine and Caribbean rum casks for 2 to 14 weeks each. The double cask finishing results in notes of dried fig, hay, pine wood, pear, and rum cake on the nose, and on the palate, clover, honey, mint, corn husk, sugar cane, walnut, and cinnamon. Jesus Christ. In its in It is during the rum cask finishing that the proprietary black noise sonic enhancement process is applied. The barrels are pummeled by the low hertz frequencies of Metallica's music, and the sound waves visibly shake the finishing barrels, causing greater interaction between the whiskey and the wood, thereby extracting more flavors and colors. That just sounds like getting drunk with extra steps.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
the name of this release is aptly dubbed Ride the Lightning because the playlist used for the Black Noise Sonic Enhancement process is Ride the Lightning. But Rob Dietrich and Metallica didn't want to just use the original version. They wanted to amp it up a notch. They chose a playlist consisting solely of the Ride the Lightning portion of Metallica's June 2012 Orion Music and More Festival set list, the only time the band has ever played the album live in its entirety, albeit in reverse track order from the album. Quote, the vibe from the crowd at the first Orion Music and More Festival was electrifying, said bassist Robert Trujillo, and it's really cool that we get to capture that energy in its release. We've used a few live songs in our playlists before, but never a full live playlist. So to be able to incorporate our fans in the Blackened journey and have them be a part of the whiskey making process is really unique and makes this a true collaboration, end quote. Fans interested in hearing this rare performance of Ride the Lightning from back to front can now enjoy a newly remixed version exclusively through Blackened. A copy can be downloaded by scanning a QR code found at retail, following at Blackened American Whiskey on socials, or visiting blackenedwhiskey.com for more information. The 10-track Black Noise playlist includes Ride the Lightning intro, The Call of Cthulhu, Creeping Death, Escape, the live debut, Trapped Under Ice, Kirk's guitar solo, Fade to Black, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Ride the Lightning, and Fight Fire with Fire. Quote, I absolutely love the high spice and earthy notes in American rye whiskey, exclaimed Dietrich. I wanted to play with those flavor profiles by bringing a symmetry of subtle flavor elements by combining not just one, but two different cask finishes to the whiskey, creating a complex balance of sweet and savory, end quote. The packaging is emblazoned with a green sound wave to differentiate from the Blackened American Whiskey flagship and align with the historical significance of using the color green to characterize rye whiskey bottles. The Rye the Lightning is bottled at 90 proof and sold for an SRP of $69.99. To find local retailers or gather information, visit Blackened American Whiskey's website at www.blackenedwhiskey.com and follow on social at Blackened American Whiskey. So, and to save time, that's what the bottle looks like right there. So, drink up, tune in, and let the beatings begin. So,
And juice for all.
yep, that's right.
I don't think that would be in the same category, but
No.
maybe just ice. I don't know. All right, my next one is over from Loudwire. By 1994, heavy metal had been declared all but dead in the wake of the grunge explosion, but one band was carrying the metal torch. Pantera basically invented the groove metal sound at a time when heavy metal wasn't cool anymore, and when it came time to make a new album, the band's first since this new renaissance in popular music, instead of pandering, Pantera went the other way, heading onto their seventh album. Literally their seventh album.
Mm-hmm.
It was the third for what we know as Pantera,
Yeah.
or like to think that as we know as Pantera. But
Yeah.
anyway, the third for a major label, Pantera went bigger than ever. 1992's vulgar display of power had brought the band their first taste of fame and fortune, raising expectations for what would come next. Some at their label felt it was the right time for the band to streamline the punishingly heavy sound that they'd honored on Vulgar, as Metallica had done on their '91 smash Black album, or self-titled album, whichever way you want to call it. But Metallica had reached its pinnacle, reached this pinnacle. Sorry, now they were kind of tapering off and writing more commercial stuff, whereas we realized our strong point once again was sticking to heavy metal and making it as heavy as our style would allow. Phil Anselmo told Loudwire in 2014, therefore, with becoming, it is what it says we were becoming. Honestly, we had arrived. Becoming encapsulated everything that made Pantera great in the first place and can sum up the whole Far Beyond Driven album. There's feels brutal but technically great vocals on top of his underrated lyrics. Rex Brown hosed down the bass, playing in perfect correlation with the guitar to create a heavy sound, and of course, led by arguably the greatest heavy metal guitarist of all time, Dimebag Darrell, as he rips his signature blues thrash guitar. His brother Vinnie Paul backbones their groove sound with crazy but simple beats and a flawless chemistry with Dime. Without significant radio or MTV play, Far Beyond Driven somehow debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts, sandwiched between weeks that featured Ace of Base and Bonnie Raitt in the top spot, making it arguably the heaviest and most unrelenting record ever to do so. When asked by interviewers how they pulled it off, Dimebag Darrell simply replied, "Because it kicks ass. How else would we be #1?" Plain and simple, man.
Hey, it doesn't have to be a long story to be a
God,
true
man,
story.
I love Dimebag, man.
Yeah.
That's so fucking sad, dude.
But the funny thing, there was a line in that story. It said without radio play or
Right.
MTV time, it
Mhm.
somehow made it to #1. I can
Yep.
tell you the how. There's a lot more metal fans out there than anybody ever wants to give credit
Right.
for.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even if we're, the thing is, like, people don't realize that there's a lot of people that like more than one genre of music.
right.
So even if you're a metalhead, I mean, not saying this on for every metalhead, because I'm very one dimensional. I will say that.
Same.
So I mean,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of metalheads out there that will go and listen to, some pop or rap or country or whatever, whatever else that their ears are, kind of turn to.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
that's
hard.
fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I used to be like that. I mean, I did because I was into old school rap like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, and those type of rap.
Oh,
But when rap,
you mean the golden age of rap? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give
I
you
mean,
that. I'll
yeah.
give you
So
that.
I mean, when rap, it didn't rap became not rap anymore. So
No.
it kind of turned me off from the genre altogether. So it's it's, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's just not the same as it was 20, 25 years ago.
Mm-mm.
So it's harder for me to steer away from my normal listening. Like I do have days where I go hard, back to like hard rock or
Sure.
80s hair metal every once in a while. Sometimes I'll listen to that shit and go, how in the hell did I ever listen to this corny ass shit? But but it was good for the time it was out. So I mean, and there was still some good glam metal bands and hair metal, whatever you want to call that era. I mean, there were still some good bands there. But like anything else, just like they were talking about, that Pantera story, a lot of those bands became commercial, and then they started like slacking off into more, ballady type stuff. 9 out of 10 songs would be ballads, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
this is not what I bought this for, So
And Metallica did do that. I mean, I've been a Metallica
yeah,
fan. I've been a Metallica fan my whole life, and I probably will be for my whole life. But I'm not such a fucking Metallica fanboy that I can't be real about it.
well, I mean, the truth is the truth. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I'm not some sort of like denier or anything. I mean, you can't deny what your ears are telling you. I mean, you can kind of argue where the transition happened, is for me, the transition happened, from, a lot of people are like, well, the Black Album is where Metallica wasn't Metallica anymore.
It
And
was more load.
for me, that's not true. Metallica 2.0 basically started with Load and went forward from there.
Right.
People
that's my
want
opinion
to,
too.
a lot of people want to shit on the Black Album. They're like, oh man, the Black Album wasn't a heavy. I have literally read people who say that the Black Album wasn't a heavy metal album. And while everyone's entitled to their own opinion, they're wrong.
Right.
Just because that album got Metallica the first consistent radio play that they had literally ever gotten and made them famous doesn't mean it wasn't a heavy metal album.
Well, I mean, the video one made them famous. I mean,
Right.
that's exactly what pushed them over that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Metallica was already, I had a big following. I mean, they were already on Monsters of Rock tours,
yes,
and stuff like that. They were already on those things, so they were already a big band. They just went over that next level at that point.
Yeah, they had already played in front of 1 million people in Russia by then and all that other stuff. So
Germany and all those.
Yeah. But at the same time, when Load came out, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Metallica, and I don't think.
I mean, that was.
I don't think
that
anyone.
Was the whole purpose of them. They cut their hair. They changed their whole image, so that was letting you know that it was different. I mean, that's the whole reason they did that,
right?
To show you that it was different, and but the thing is, like people talk about, oh well, it had like Unforgiven and nothing else. But did you realize Fade to Black was on like, it's like, did you forget that?
Mm-hmm. And hell, the first half of Sanitarium, it was musically, the first half of Welcome Home Sanitarium was a ballad. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a ballady subject matter in that song, but Metallica didn't play thrash metal every song on every album leading up to the Black Album. And then when The Unforgiven came out, that wasn't their first ballad. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Come on.
But the thing is, it's like Metallica didn't write ballady love songs. That's not what they were made. It's not what they were,
not until Nothing Else Matters came out. But James wrote that about his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. But what I was saying is, like, they that's not what they were known for doing. So when they so that was different for them, and I guess I get it from that point. It's like, oh well, that's not what that's not the Metallica I know. Well, okay, well, the Metallica is always going to be the Metallica. I mean, especially like if you take this, like take a band like Aerosmith. They actually, I remember an article where Steven Tyler said it's amazing to look out in the crowd and see 4 generations of people watching your shows.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's freaking. You're out there and you have 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? You got all those different age of people out in the crowds watching you, and that the person with the 20-year-old is going to have a different perspective than the person that had been following those bands from the beginning, because they don't know as much of the catalog as the people that had been there from the beginning. So if you come into Metallica at Load, then you probably don't see anything wrong with Metallica. I mean,
well, and we've also said before, there are good songs on every single one of those albums. Even Saint Anger, even though we joke about Saint Anger, what we joke about is the way they recorded it, not necessarily.
It was the quality of the recording. It wasn't wasn't the music itself.
Yeah. I mean, there are good songs on Saint Anger. It's just they don't sound the way that everybody thinks they should have sounded. And we just talked. You mentioned it in that story you just talked about. That was Pantera's 7th album, and you said the Pantera that we know,
right?
The Pantera we know. You have to literally search for Pantera's first 4 albums. They're out there, but you have to find them. You got to go out and find them. You can find them, but it's difficult.
It's an Easter egg hunt, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you can find them. But and even Thursday night at the show, dude, we're in our mid 40s. There were people who were there older than us. There were kids there that you could tell were still in high school.
Oh yeah, that's what I loved about the show.
There you go.
We talked about how just like Alyssa White Blues was just talking about in an article a week or two before
Mm-hmm.
I reported on that she was wondering who was going to carry the torch. Well, these kids, there's kids there that are into still the thrash metal and old school
Mm-hmm.
scene. So you know they're going to be the ones who depict who's taking over. I mean,
Right.
there's bands out there who's gonna
Right.
get the notoriety and who's gonna get all the people, all the fans that are younger on board with them.
Yep.
That's going to be of who's taking over right there. But
Yep.
and it may not be somebody we would agree on that should be there, but it's not going to matter to us because we're not the deciding factor right now.
That's
So
true.
we
That is
we we
true.
we made it. We made our bands. So
Yep.
so
Yeah, that's true. And even when Testament and Exodus and Metallica are done and not gone, but I mean when they're finally, because like Slayer, they're done with music. I mean the guys aren't gone, but they're done with music. We
mhm.
can still listen to we can listen to Slayer right now all day long if we want to.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, so yeah, that's a great point. Our bands, our and Exoduses, there are bands and they're not going anywhere even when they stop touring and when they stop making music. We've got 4 decades worth of music we can listen to at the drop of a hat. So yeah, it's up to the bands to put the content out there, but ultimately, like you said, it's going to be the fans who decide who the next flag bearers are.
And what's so crazy to think about is in 40 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
we're likely all the bands and us will be gone, dead and gone.
Right.
There could be a band coming out that sounds just like Exodus or Testament, and nobody will ever know the damn difference. So,
That's
uh,
true. It's true. Because I mean, hell, we've even, how many times have we reviewed an album on here and it's like, man, this sounds exactly like
hmm
insert, insert 80s band here. And it sounds phenomenal, even though it's, 80s thrash
hmm
or like, early 90s, but it's 80s thrash with a 2022, you know, record,
yeah,
the
right,
technology of now with
right,
that sound in it, and it just sounds amazing because
hmm
you're able to take that sound and you put it on, current technology to where the quality is so much better, and it just some of these bands just, no pun intended, just don't miss a beat, you know.
right.
So I mean, there are bands out there. They're out there now. Are they going to have a 30 or 40-year career? Like you said, that's really not up to you, like people like you and I. It's up to those kids who were standing there right next to us the other night. It's up to them.
Well, and it's another thing. We were just talking about how the differences between we interviewed Tim and Chris from Eyes of the Living
Hmm.
a couple weeks ago, and how they've talked about their life in music, where they took time off to be with families earlier in their career, and
Yeah.
now they're more focused on music.
Hmm.
Whereas Slayer did it all the other way. They focus on their music, and now they're family oriented. So it's kind of like what you want to do at what time point of your life. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think Eyes of Living has a great future ahead of
I
them.
think
I
so
mean,
too.
I really, I do. I think that they've really got that sound that could stick out and be the next, big thing that we talk about. I wouldn't be surprised 4 or 5 years from now we're talking about how big they are. I really wouldn't.
Neither would I.
You know, just because they have a sound that's just enough different that makes you intrigued and can't wait for what's next.
Yeah. I hope Eyes of the Living can get on a label that will give them the exposure that they
Yeah,
deserve.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
exactly.
I really do.
We're gonna do our part. That's for damn sure.
We're doing everything we can, but I mean,
uh,
hell, our reach only goes so far right
yeah,
now. But yeah,
that
we're
is
doing
that
every
is
bit.
true.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can.
But there's certain bands that just come along like the Tetrarch. How we talk about how young they are. So I mean, it's kind of like you have those type bands that are there, and I think that band has. I mean, that band's already got a big following. So
Yeah, that band has a
they're
future.
yeah. So they're gonna be up in the tops of you know the Exodus and Testaments and you know Megadeth and all that stuff.
They've
In 20 years from now. So
they've definitely got potential, especially with Diamond Rowe as their guitarist.
yeah.
I think she is. she's whether no one can predict the future, obviously. So I mean, even if she isn't in, something happens and she's not in Tetrarch long term, she's going to be I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future.
Yeah.
Whether it's in Tetrarch or just in the metal scene,
Hmm.
as in general, she's going to be influential as a guitarist. I
And,
would
and,
almost
and I
bet on
think
that.
that, and I think the good thing about bands like that that are younger, or that are humble. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you can't hardly find bands that are that young and humble, because they, a lot of times they let the exposure and how fast they rise get to them, and
Hmm.
they lose track of who they are. And
Yeah.
like those, Tetrarch obviously has not done that, because I mean, my wife met them, and she was just like, they were just so down to earth, so easy to talk to. And
Yeah.
as long as you got bands that can do that and still be, headlining type material, man, that's just like that goes a long way. I mean, it really does. I don't, when you got all that working for you, I don't see how you fail. I don't. I mean,
Hmm.
uh,
And it's good to hear because like we keep going back to the show the other night, but
yeah,
during, like, you brought it up, like during Death Angel's set, there was a couple times where during songs Mark was kind of like, we thank you for letting us come out, we thank you for your energy and passion, all that stuff. So it's good to, I mean, those guys like that, they've lived it, and they're later on in their careers, but they know what they've got and what they've had, and they've learned to appreciate it after being around so long.
right.
The fact that if Tetrarch already has that point of view, that they realize that even though they're early on in their careers, that they're already appreciative, they know what they have, the potential of what they could have, but at the same time knowing that if it could be gone at any minute, this band could fall apart, something could happen, some of the stuff we've talked about, bus crashes,
Hmm.
anything could happen, and then all of a sudden you don't have your band anymore. So the fact that they seem to have their heads on straight, and they're already appreciative, like you said, just in general, just humble, you know it's good that they've got that on the front end, to where it's like, oh well, 30 years later we finally learned that we should be humble and appreciative for our fans. No, if you've got it at the beginning of your career,
Yeah, and you just take it
definitely,
with
definitely.
you. You take it with you as you grow. So,
Right. Absolutely.
all right. Well, I guess we wandered off enough. So,
A little bit.
I don't know
I've
how many you. I still got
I've
two stories. So,
I've still got one. So you go ahead, do one, I'll do one, and then you can round it out.
all right. All right, so this one is over from Blabbermouth. My wife actually posted this on the Metalheads Facebook page there.
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah, Live Nation has announced the return of Concert Week, offering fans access to $25 all-in tickets to more than 3,700 shows across North America this year. The week-long program celebrates one of the biggest and most exciting years for live music and marks the kickoff to an epic summer concert season. I will say this before we get too far into it: I bought my corn tickets this way, and I was very surprised at the quality of seats I got for $25. I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
So the ticket offer includes performance in clubs, theaters, amphitheaters, arenas, and stadiums, featuring one of today's biggest acts across a large variety of genres, including metal, country, hip hop, Latin, pop, rock, and more. Concert Week gives all live music fans access to participating in Live Nation events with a $25 ticket offer special, including taxes and fees. For $25 flat, any fan can enjoy seeing their favorite artists live at their local venue this year. $25 concert week tickets will be available starting Wednesday, May 4th at 10 a.m. at livenation.com, concert week through May 10th, or while supplies last. City is the official card of the Live Nation Concert Week offer. City card members will have access to pre-sale tickets beginning Tuesday, May 3rd at 8 a.m. For Eastern Standard Time. For complete pre-sale details, visit www.cityentertainment.com. That's City, C-I-T-I, so not Y, C-I-T-I.
Right.
So Rakuten members can purchase pre-sale tickets starting Tuesday, May 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern. Sign up for Rakuten by May 1st to receive a pre-sale access code via email. Rakuten, Rakuten. So I know you have a problem, may have a problem understanding my cornbread, but Anyway, some of the participating artists celebrating concert week include Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin with Bush, Anthrax, As I Lay Dying, Asking Alexandria, Codeheat and Cambria, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Deftones, Disturbed, Hailstorm, Pretty Reckless, Kid Rock, Kiss, Korn and Evanescence, Megadeth, Primus, Puddle of Mud, Rise Against, Rob Zombie and Mudvayne, Sammy Hagar, Shinedown, Slipknot, and Static X. So there's just a few bands listed there. So that's not all of them, of course, because of covering the metal hard rock genre there. So
I wonder if I'm gonna have to take a look at that, because I know, like you say, you got Korn tickets during that. Because I mean, 25, like you say, $25 out the door for tickets. That's unheard of. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got them.
And for some of those acts.
Yeah, I got them, and I went and gave the ticket, to the because it was at was it at Bridgestone or Municipal? I can't remember. It was one of the Bridgestone or Municipal. But anyway, I gave the ticket and I said, okay, I said where's this at? And the usher was like, oh, it's down there. I'm like, are you serious? I'm just like, because I was like expecting him to send me up or something. He's like, oh no, it's down there, dude. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in pretty good spots for $50. I mean.
Yeah, hey, Ticketmaster, take some notes and do that at least once a year. You kind of owe people.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Jesus Christ.
Shit. I paid $30 for that ticket to go to see Testament, but I ended up paying $40.25 for it because of their fucking bullshit fees.
Yeah, your fee should not be a third of the ticket cost. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's horse shit.
I would have understood $5 or $7 or something. But
like I said, I would have been okay with like $3 to $5, but $10.25 for a $30 ticket. I mean, that's fucking price gouging, man. It's ridiculous.
That's what if you got that much overhead, you need to cut back or something.
Right. And it's like we were talking about on our way to the show. It was for an electronic ticket. There's no paper. There's no ink. There's no envelopes. There's no stamps. There's no, you're not.
What are you paying for?
Anything. Yeah, you're not paying for a fucking thing. All right. My last one is over at Blabbermouth. And if you want to be able to stay awake long enough to drink Metallica's new whiskey, you need to drink some Motley Crue's new coffee to keep you awake. Motley Crue has teamed up with Brutality Coffee Company to help kickstart your mornings with a rich flavored, high caffeine, high octane blend dark roast and espresso blend French roast. Kickstart My Heart is a dark roast coffee with a bold, smooth, and never bitter taste that you will instantly want to rock out to. Espresso blend French roast will get your taste buds buzzing with notes of dark chocolate, brown sugar, and toffee. A short promotional video for Motley Crue's new line of coffee featuring the band's drummer Tommy Lee can be seen below, which you'll have to do that on your own, everybody. In a classic 2000 episode of MTV Cribs, going way back in the day for that, Lee revealed that he had his own professionally installed Starbucks cappuccino machine at his home. 2 years ago, he confirmed to the Paltrow cast with Darren Paltrowitz podcast that he still owned the machine. Of course, it's still here, he said. Yes, Starbucks is actually right next door to the studio. It's right outside my home studio. I lived up in Malibu at the top of Mulholland, and to go down to Starbucks was literally a 20-minute trek down to Starbucks and 20 minutes back, he explained. That's like a 40-minute run to get a freaking coffee. I think I was complaining one day because I was tired of doing that. I was complaining to my accountant. I was like, I would just kill if there was a Starbucks a little bit closer or I had one in my house. I was just bullshitting, really. And he goes, I represent several other Starbucks chains. Let me make some phone calls and see if I can get the people who do the installs with the machinery. He made a couple of calls and boom, they came over and installed the machines and the grinders and the pump flavors, you name it, the whole deal. Damn. They brought me the green Starbucks apron. It's legit Starbucks down here. It's crazy. I do remember that episode. So yeah, I do recall that shit. And the funny thing was at the time is you could see the STDs on the walls. It was crazy. So it was
God. Don't put black lights in there.
I'm telling you, But so yeah, Motley Crue's got their own coffee now. So
you get a kickstart your heart to get a live wire going in your mouth, prescribed by Dr. Feelgood. So.
That's right.
We can go all day with that.
Yep. Now you can go to Tommy's house and get a Starbucks. He can tell you, don't go away mad, just go away.
Yeah. Don't pay no attention to the kids on the wall, but
That's right.
Oh man. My last one is over from Metal Injection. I actually sent you the picture for this. Was
Oh yeah, hang on.
pretty wild. So, but those of you who have been following or have been following Metal Sucks for several years now, damn kids and their trap metal, I know that
Right.
we're big fans of the necrosexual, the black metal loving journalist, musician, stripper whose use of corpse paint and steak make us blush and gag more than any Cannibal Corpse album ever could. Uh, and now it appears that the dude is out to space dock with Spider-Man because he's released his own comic full of all full of all of the blood, meat thongs, and boxed wine that any of us could ever ask for. The comic is titled "The Insatiable Necrosexual" and is out now via its uh, titular Heroes Bandcamp. Uh, Drawn by artist Ben Fiddler, the jam-packed issues follows the necrosexual as he plays a show, drinks shitty booze from the heavens, and continues onto a bacchanalia of erotic carnage, the likes of which no one has ever seen, and maybe never will, really, because it's a comic. reading
Right.
it, reading it will remind one of such illustrated classics as Fritz the Cat, Metalocalypse, and that hente I drew when I was 13, where Wednesday Adams steps on my nuts in platform heels and calls me a wiener chugging pro, pro, uh, pobres, proboscito? Proboscito. Here's the official description of this eye impregnating masterpiece. The grim one bleeds onto the page with an original story across 30 full color pages, illustrated by artist Ben Filler and written by me. The story is filled with necrosexual lore, a healthy amount of depreciate, deprecating, God damn it,
Deprecating.
deprecating humor, and all of the headaches and heartbreaks that come with being a black metal musician inspired by true events, mostly. The initial printing of the work of genius has apparently already sold out, but we're sure Marvel is going to pick it up in no time. Did you see the second Venom movie? They'll make anything. So get ready to see some overly gritty or origin story movie about the necrosexual in the near future, which I don't know if that will be the case, but
There it is, right there.
pretty pretty wild picture. So
And it's sold out too. Look, it says it's already sold out.
yeah, it's sold out. Yep. So
Yeah, it's crazy. The horny misadventures of the Grim One and his and friends bleed into the pages of this first run of comics, limited to only 10 signed copies. This collaboration features the original artwork of Ben Fiddler of Toxic Draws It and a story penned by the necrosexual himself. This limited edition first print includes a signed comic book plus a free 8x10 print and sticker due out in early 22. And yeah, it's already gone.
well,
But I mean, you can see some of this other stuff that's here.
no, yeah, he's pretty wild dude.
I mean, literally, like look over here. Literally a meat thong. He's got like
Mhm.
a right there. Yeah, it's just right, yeah, right there. It's right there. Not right there. It's right
I
there.
can't
It's right there.
do a what's his fucking name?
Now that everyone's completely uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good shit.
sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute. I was trying to find out who I was trying to talk about. Like Ken Jong, yeah, that's it. Uh, kind of like there, see that where he's like looking at the paper.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, so that was our metal news of the week. So I
That's
guess
right.
we can kick off into some notable moments in history. Real quick, there's actually a little bit going on this week in history. So Kicked that off April 25th, 1988. Bon Jovi's manager Doc McGee was convicted on drug offenses arising from the 1982 seizure of 40,000 pounds of marijuana smuggled into North Carolina from Colombia. That is Colombia, not Columbia, South Carolina. So McGee was sentenced to a 5-year suspended prison term and a $15,000 fine, which is bullshit because we would all be in prison still. But
yeah, right.
so fucking bullshit. 25th of April 1990, the Fender Stratocaster that Jimi Hendrix played at the Woodstock Festival was auctioned off for a record $295,000. His 2 hours set at the 1969 festival became the longest of his career. Uh, April 25th, 2016, Motley Crue co founder Nikki Sixx launched a campaign asking Google to pay musicians more money when their videos appeared on YouTube. The bass player was urging Google to remember its former slogan, "Don't be evil," in its dealings with artists. Oh, man. Could be worse, could be on Spotify, but.
Yep.
26th of April 2016, a list of tracks by a death metal band was accidentally printed on the back of a new album by UK comedian Bernie Clifton. The 80-year-old, who is famous for riding a yellow ostrich, said he was fuming and furious about the error, which saw songs by the group Abhorrent Decimation printed on his new CD. I mean, come on, that's funny. If you're a comedian, you should see the laughter in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of people who can't see the laughter in a lot of shit anymore, and it's
well,
just
that is true. That is true.
But that's a tangent we don't need to go off on.
Yeah. April 27th, 2009, Aerosmith were to hold a free concert in Hawaii to placate angry fans who brought a legal case against them. Fans filed a class action case which claimed the band had canceled a sold out show in Maui 2 years earlier, leaving hundreds of fans out of pocket in favor of a bigger gig in Chicago. Lawyers for the would-be concert goers said Aerosmith had now agreed to put on a new show and would pay all expenses. Everyone who bought a ticket to the original concert would receive a free ticket. So I want to say this: like, from my experience, I'm not in a band, so if somebody in a band wants to correct me, that's fine. But it seems to me that your bookie or whatever would be the ones that tells you where, your itineraries on where you're going along your road trips. So if you get a call and you're Aerosmith and saying, "Hey, you're actually supposed to be in Chicago tonight, not Maui," I mean, what are they supposed to do? Just go to Maui anyway? I mean, like I don't know. I don't know if I put the blame on the band here. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And trust me, I know from experience, it takes 8.5 hours to get to Chicago to Hawaii by plane.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. So they could have probably did both shows.
Probably could have.
Anyway, let's see, April 28th, 2014, Scorpions drummer James Kotak was sentenced to 1 month in jail in Dubai for offensive behavior after an incident at Dubai airport on April 3rd of that same year. He was convicted of insulting Islam, raising his middle finger, and being under the influence of alcohol. Oh, God forbid, that's a normal Saturday night around here, but...
Yep.
Oh, man. April 29th, 2021, British drummer John Hinch died at the age of 73. He was a drummer in an early lineup of the heavy metal band Judas Priest. So,
very early lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, like the old like red and white suits lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. That old. Yeah, that old.
The onesies, the bell bottom onesies.
Right.
Oh man. All right, that was my notable moments in history there. So.
All right. Well, my contribution to This Week in Metal History, as always, comes to us from This Day in Metal on Twitter and Dr. Jekyll or Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Feelgood and Ms. Hyde over at Facebook for the week of the 23rd through the 29th. Starting off with April 23rd, 2002, Rhapsody of Fire releases Power of the Dragon Flame. April 23rd, 2014, Prong releases Ruining Lives, and Winger releases their 6th studio album, Better Days Comin', which debuted at number 85 on the Billboard 200. April 23rd, 2007, Vendetta releases their third studio album, Hate. April 23rd, 2010, Axel Rudy Pell releases his 14th studio album, The Crest. April 23rd, 2013, Jeff Tate's version of Queensryche, before all the court shit was settled, releases Frequency Unknown. April 23rd, 1987, Faith No More releases their second studio album, Introduce Yourself. You figured they would have had that be their first album cover, but that's
right.
Moving ahead to the 24th, April 24th, 2007, Dark Tranquillity releases their 8th studio album, Fiction. April 24th, 2000, After Forever releases their debut studio album, Prison of Desire. April 24th, 1998, Blind Guardian releases their 6th studio album, Nightfall in Middle Earth. April 24th, 2012, Trickster releases their 4th studio album, New Audio Machine, and Prong releases their 8th studio album, Carved into Stone. April 24th, 2001, LA Guns released their 7th studio album, Man in the Moon. Moving ahead to the 25th, April 25th, 2014, Ancient Bards released their 3rd studio album, A New Dawn Ending. April 25th, 2000, Papa Roach releases their 2nd studio album, Infest, which peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200. And April 25th, 2012, Marilyn Manson releases his 8th studio album, Born Villain, which debuted at number 10 on the Billboard 200. Moving ahead to the 26th, April 26th, 2004, Heaven Shall Burn releases their 3rd studio album, Antigone. And Yorn releases their 3rd studio album, Out to Every Nation. April 26th, 1999, Children of Bodom released their 2nd studio album, Hate Breeder. April 26th, 2013, Kingdom Come releases their 13th studio album, Outlier, and Deep Purple releases their 19th studio album, Now What? After 19 albums, you probably asked that. Well, now what do we do?
Right. Yeah, right.
But then Rage is like, hold my beer.
Yeah, right.
April 26, 2019, Hardline releases their 6th studio album, Life. Moving ahead to the 27th, April 27th, 2010, War Beast releases their debut album, Crush the Enemy. April 27th, 2018, Riot 5 releases Armor of Light. Malaya Rage releases Idle Hands, and Cobra and the Lotus release their 5th studio album, Prevail 2. April 27th, 2007, Serenity releases their debut studio album, Words of Untold and Dreams Unveiled. April 27th, 2004, Evergrey releases their 5th studio album, The Inner Circle, and Death Angel releases their 4th studio album, The Art of Dying, which peaked at number 50 on the Top Independent Albums chart. April 27th, 1993, Vince Neil releases his debut solo studio album, Exposed, which peaked at number 13 on the Billboard 200. April 27th, 2012, Huntress releases their debut studio album, Spell Eater. Moving ahead to the 28th, April 28th, 2017, Arion releases The Source, and All That Remains releases their 8th studio album, Madness. April 28th, 2021, Chumbo releases their self-titled debut album. Never heard of that. I never heard of that band until I had to type this up. April 28th, 1983, Warlord releases their debut album, Deliver Us. April 28th, 2009, Heaven and Hell releases their debut album, The Devil You Know. Their debut and only album, as a matter of fact. April 28th, 1980, Alice Cooper releases his 5th studio album, Flush the Fashion. April 28th, 1985, Venom releases their 4th studio album, Possessed. April 28th, 2000, Tankard releases their 9th studio album, Kings of Beer, because, of course, you know, Tankard is definitely going to have beer in every single one of their albums. April 28th, 1992, Hardline releases their debut studio album, Double Eclipse. What does it all mean? Oh, that's Double Rainbow. But anyway, Lynch Mob and Lynch Mob releases their self-titled debut studio album. Moving ahead to the 29th, April 29th, 2012, Satan releases Life Sentence. April 29th, 1976, Crocus releases their self-titled debut studio album. That's crazy, 1976, and they're still around. April 29th, 1977, speaking of still around, Alice Cooper releases his 3rd studio album, Lace and Whiskey, which peaked at number 42 in the United States. That was pre-Billboard 200 era. April 29th, 2016, Epica releases Consigned to Oblivion, the orchestral edition, and 6am releases their 4th studio album, Prayers for the Damned. April 29th, 2002, Axel Rudy Pell releases his 9th studio album, Shadow Zone, and last but not least, April 29th, 2003, Lynch Mob releases their 4th studio album, Revolution. So those are historical releases for the 23rd through the 29th of April.
There was a lot of doubles and
There
those.
was, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of bands keeping it close to the vest on dates.
So actually, you said Vince Neil exposed, and that reminded me of a story. We actually went to see that tour. He was opening up for Van Halen.
Wow.
I actually was driving or Van Hagar or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
But I was actually driving my mom's car, and it overheated about probably a mile from the show.
Oh shit.
So we pulled it off to the side.
Went to the
So
show.
I went to the show and then come back. Yeah. So and in the middle of the show, it started pouring down fucking rain.
Oh
So
god.
so by the time we got back, we were soaking fucking wet trying to get to the car. Luckily, we put enough water back in it to get back home.
There you go.
So it was just she had like a hose leak or something. So as long as
God.
everything was flowing, so we were in traffic, so we were kind of like at a standstill. So it
Yeah.
wasn't really flowing, so it was leaking as we were
Hmm.
sitting there. So once we got everything going and it was going down the road, it wasn't that bad. So
Right.
but yeah, that's my Vince Neil exposed story. And while we were walking, they actually was police escorting a limo. We later found out was carrying Vince because he was late to the show.
Jesus.
I was like, you Axl Rose,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
man. Oh man,
Yeah. You want to be son of a bitch.
right. Anyway, all right. So I guess we can jump over to hitting the road real quick. I only have a couple, and I'm probably going to take some of the big ones from you, but
That's fine. No problem at all.
I did have one on here that I noticed when I was doing it. I said, "Oh, well, I didn't get that one," so I'll give you some of it. But anyway,
Yeah, that's
uh,
totally fine.
I only got the one, two, three, I think four. So I'm sure you got way more than that. So
I do.
my hitting the road contribution was at the gates announced slaughter of the Soul Anniversary Tour with municipal waste enforced and thrown into exile. North American dates with municipal waste and thrown into exile begin on 8/17 in Los Angeles, California at the Harry Fonda Theater. Actually, there's only 4 dates with them, so I'll just give you
Hmm.
all the 8/18 Pomona, California at the Glass House, 8/19 Berkeley, California at the UC Theater, and August 20th. Did I say April? August the 19th and August 20th at Las Vegas, Nevada at the Psycho Las Vegas Festival. North American dates with municipal waste and enforced begin on August 22nd. Denver, Colorado, at the Gothic Theater, and end on August 30th at New York, and at the Irving Plaza. UK and European dates begin. Wow, this is kind of a wow. That's kind of crazy. Um, April 29th, Oslo, Norway, John D., and November 5th at Manchester, UK at the Damnation Festival. Oh, I guess it's just a festival, that's why. But I was just like, wow, that's a big gap. Anyway, Testament announced the second leg of their North American tour with Exodus Death Angel, The Bay Strikes Back Part 2, I guess we could say. Um,
Right.
that one kicks off September 9th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Van Buren, and ends on October 15th in San Jose, California, which at the San Jose Civic, which is kind of a fitting being from the Bay Strikes Back to end in
Hmm.
California, I guess. So,
Yep.
but that tour does make a stop in Nashville at the Brooklyn Bowl on September 16th, which I think we've already talked about. We were going to hit that up. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, hell, yeah. If I can go for $30 again, I'm going.
yeah.
And it's only 45 minutes away instead of two and a
Yeah,
half
a lot
hours.
closer. Yeah, it's a lot closer.
Yeah. And it's on a Friday. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's
always love like how they do that. Like they'll sucker you in on his first leg, and you're like, shit, I better go to Huntsville or somewhere to see him. And then they're
yeah.
like, oh, well, second leg we're in Nashville. Like you
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
motherfuckers. But
It's like,
it is what
well,
it is.
joke's on you, Testament, because I'm coming twice. So I
Yeah,
mean,
right. Yeah, so that's what I say. That's actually a week. Actually, 8, 9 days after. Actually, no, it's only like 5 days after. After actually, it's the week after the festival. So it'll be the Friday after the festival.
yeah.
Blue Ridge. So
Yeah.
I'll probably be broke by then. So
Yeah. Well,
uh,
Well, there was something that Susie posted in the. I think it was Susie and posted in the the Facebook group at one time. It was just a meme that says "Life is short, so buy those concert tickets."
That's right. Yep. All right, and then I got Avatar. They announced a North American tour with Light the Torch at
Yeah, they
Hotel,
did.
which I'd love to see that too. But
Me too.
that kicks off July the 6th in Toronto, Ontario at the Danforth Music Hall, and ends on July 31st in Tucson, Arizona at the Rialto Theater. They are coming to Knoxville, I believe, is the
Hmm.
closest they're coming to
Yeah,
us. So,
they're gonna be in Knoxville at the Concourse on July 17th.
unfortunately, I don't know if I'll make that one. I might try, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is Avatar. They're not even an American band, but they love to come through Tennessee. This is like the third tour in like the
Mm-hmm.
last 3 years where they've come through
They
Tennessee at some
have
point.
a
They've
big
been through.
following. They have a big following here, so
Yeah,
it's
I mean
kind of crazy. So
they've been to Nashville. I wasn't able to make it to the last time they came to Nashville. I wasn't able to make it, but they've been to Nashville. They're going to Knoxville. I know they've been to Chattanooga, so they love coming through here.
yeah.
But again, this is to allude to what I was talking about earlier. I could do without OTEP. I want to see Light the Torch and I want to see Avatar, but I could do without OTEP. But still,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me going if they were closer. So
Yeah, I got an ultimatum this year, so I had to take her to see Howard Jones at some point. So
well, there you go.
but luckily he's going to be at Blue Ridge with Scion, so
Ah, there you go.
get to catch that, I guess.
Yeah, there you
Get to see the works of Jared Dines as well, so it's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
cool little combo. So. All right, then I got Cradle of Filth and Alcest that will hit the road in Europe at the start of this October before wrapping things up later that month with a series of shows in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
These dates are in addition to Cradle of Filth's upcoming tour with Danzig and ensuing solo dates. So their tour with Danzig and Crowbot's going on now are coming up, and it's only a little short tour there with them those two. So I'm sure Danzig's is a little bit more extent, but they're only Cradle of Filth's only with them May 5th in Reno, Nevada, at the Grand Sierra Resort, and that ends on May 19th in Austin, Texas, at Stubbs Waller Creek Amphitheater. And then you got a couple shows with Cradle of Filth only. May 21st, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at Diamond Ballroom, and then and that goes through June 11th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at the HMAC. And then with Alcest, that kicks off on October 1st in Paris, France at Elysee Montmartre, Martre. I don't know, whatever they say in France.
Yeah, right.
And that ends on October 29th in London, UK. Indigo at the O2. Man, if I went over there to go to a show, I'd be so fucking lost with all this shit because they got like the A1s and A2s and
Mm-hmm.
O1, O2s and all this other
They
stuff.
do.
Damn, man, it's like I'd get all my numbers confused and be at the wrong venue probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Well, so
I had
that's the funny thing is like over in England, like all of their technically their interstates. You got the M5 and the M6 and all that stuff. So it'd be like, oh, I can't keep all these letters and numbers
I
together.
know, right? Yeah.
Then you got the O2 arena. It's like, oh my god.
It'd be funny if you got you take the 2O down to the O2. Like what?
Yeah, but don't go to the M5 because you need to get off of the M6. I'm like, I'm fucking confused.
Yeah, more power to them. They probably do it like this with their eyes shut over there. So.
Yeah. That's the thing is they come over here and be like, interstate what? I don't know what.
Yeah. And then like I was just saying a thing, I never realized that they all parallel. All of our interstates like go, in order.
Yep.
Like I never realized that. I guess I should have. I've traveled them enough, but
yep, they go 5 to 95 west to east,
yeah.
and then they go 10 to 90 south to north.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. All right, my last one was Saliva and Otherwise announced a U.S. summer tour. June the 2nd kicks off in Columbia, South Carolina at the New Brooklyn Tavern and ends on June 23rd in Lawrence, Kansas at the Supernatural's house. I'm just kidding. It's in Lawrence, Kansas at the Bottleneck. And they actually are going to be in Clarksville, Tennessee at the Warehouse on June 5th, which if reason I brought that up is because people on here that are local don't know the Clarksville venue, the warehouse, will be closing in July. So
Yeah, which is
uh,
bullshit.
yeah, just so they can sell the property out to rent for housing
More fucking housing.
shit. Bullshit. Yeah, like you taking away a rugby and like I was asking somebody in the area about O'Connor's, and he's like, yeah, they really don't do much up there anymore right now, but karaoke. And I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude? Like that was a great venue. It was an outdoor venue, so it's really great in the summertime to go up there and catch shows. So I don't know, but like he said, there really is nowhere else in Clarksville to go. So I mean, that's
That's
kind
a
of
shame.
yeah, it is. It's sad that venue is going away. Hopefully, the people that run that can find another location and open up something else, maybe or I don't know. It's just. I mean, there's been a lot of big bands go through
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I know what Non-Point's been through there. Um,
You
Saliva's been
you
through it a couple times.
you went to see Fozzy there, right?
They were at O'Connor's actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been some bigger bands through there. Like I know, like a lot of Chevelle's been there. 10 Years has been there. I mean, there's been a lot of bands go through the warehouse. So
Yeah, yeah. I just hate to see another concert venue go
yeah.
away.
Well, I mean, like we talk about that in Nashville, how the exit in, they were trying to save the exit in, and then we bring up stuff like the Brooklyn Bowl that we didn't even like, where in the hell's that even at? Like there's
Right.
like
Yeah,
venues we've never even been to. So
that's
so
true.
so
That's
there's a
true.
lot of venues around. So I mean, saving one's probably not going to kill much in Nashville, but there I would definitely wish they would have did something with that venue.
Yeah.
It's a cool venue. I've actually seen I've only seen one show there, but it's still a cool venue. So
What I hate, like you say, if Exit In does go away, you do have the Brooklyn Bowl to make up for it. But what
mhm.
sucks is when like the outdoor venues go away.
Yeah,
That always stinks.
yeah.
But
Luckily they built two right here near us. So
yeah, but I don't know. But it would be a little prohibitive because I mean Clarksville's not close to Franklin, really.
no,
I
no, no.
mean, we did just drive from Columbia to Chattanooga, so people in Clarksville don't
Yeah,
really have much room to talk. Because I mean, Clarksville to Franklin is closer than Columbia to Chattanooga. So I mean,
yeah,
you want to go to a concert bad enough, you can make it happen. But I mean, when you've got a venue like that in your own backyard and it goes away just to put up more goddamn housing, I mean, if I
yeah,
was in Clarksville, I'd be pissed.
yeah. It's a little redundant at this point. So
Yeah.
all right, but that
All
was
right.
all of the concert news I had. I know
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's cool because I mean that does shorten my list, so that's totally fine. Let's see. So yeah, for the 23rd to the 29th, starting off over at the PRP.com as always, we have Dying Fetus and Ingested going on a European and UK tour starting June 10th at Boston Music Room in London, England, finishing June 25th at Abyss Festival in Houtville, Switzerland. Then we have Don Bracco, Papa Roach, and Dance Gavin Dance. And that band, I don't know anything about that Dance Gavin Dance band. I don't know anything about them. I'll be
Yeah,
completely
I
honest.
don't either.
But
So
they are getting to go out on a lot of tours. Their name has been coming up a lot. That tour is a really quick tour. A couple of arenas around the UK, starting March 21st of 23. This is for 23. So March 21st of 2023 at the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, Wales, finishing March 25th of 2023 at Alexandra Place in London, England. All right, I'm going to change this real quick. All right, so I'm going to pull down. This was the link for the Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel playlist. So if you guys have that, you're good to go there.
that's
This
that's the
is
that's the weekly. So
Yeah, this is the weekly one right here that Jason put together. So I'll leave that up there for a little bit. So let's see. Then moving on. We have a day to remember. They're going to have some headlining UK shows in June, starting June 3rd at Rock im Ring Park in Nuremberg, Germany, finishing June 24th at Saarland Hall in Saarbrücken, Germany. I was hesitant to put this one on there, but there may be some fans out there. We have Stained going on a September casino tour. I don't know if you really can consider them metal ever at all, but I don't know definitely if they would even be considered metal anymore. But anyway, like I say, I
man,
know there's
I will say this: like if you've he can do metal. I'll put it that
right. That's what I'm saying.
way.
You said he has the ability, but so anyway, so like I say, there's probably some fans out there. So I put this one out there anyway. So it's going there. Stained is going on a casino tour in September, starting September 8th at the Seneca Casino in Niagara Falls, New York, and finishing September 24th at Fire Lake Grand Casino in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And, there's no Nashville date because there's no casinos here.
Right.
So, yeah. Then we have Apocalyptica, Leprous, and Wheel going out on tour together starting September 6th at Georgia Theater in Athens, Georgia, finishing at the Aftershock Festival in Sacramento, California on October 7th. They will also be in Nashville at the previously mentioned Brooklyn Bowl on September 23rd. Then we have SOM and Slow Crush. I don't know if it's SOM or SOM because it's spelled in all caps. So I don't know if it's I don't know either way, but I'm just going to go with SOM. So we have SOM and Slow Crush going out on tour starting May 10th at High Dive in Denver, Colorado, finishing May 25th at Elsewhere, featuring Restless Spirit and Light Tower. Slow Crush will not be at that show. No Nashville date on that tour. Then we have Billy Howardell of Tool fame going out on a solo tour starting June 11th at Ventura Music Hall in Ventura, California, finishing July 20th at Crescent Ballroom in Phoenix. No Nashville date for that tour. Then we have Ultra Bridge, Hailstorm, and Mammoth WVH going to Europe and the UK starting November 1st at Sport Hall in Hamburg, Germany, finishing December 12th at the O2 Arena in London, England. The opening acts for the Korn and Evanescence tour have been announced. The tour dates with Helmet and Jairus Johnson will start on August 16th at Ball Arena in Denver, finishing August 24th at the Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville, Indiana. They will be with Palais Royale and Jairus Johnson starting August 26th at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, Massachusetts, finishing August 28th at Northwell Health at Jones Beach in Wantagh, New York. They will be with Palais Royale and Dana Dentata starting August 31st at PNC Music Pavilion in Charlotte, North Carolina, finishing September 6th at Dos Equis Pavilion in Dallas. Then they will be with POD and Dana Dentata starting September 9th at USANA Amphitheater in Salt Lake City, finishing September 16th at the RV InStyle Resorts Amphitheater in Ridgefield, Washington. No Nashville dates with any lineup, which is kind of crazy that they're not coming to Nashville, but I guess they can't come to Nashville on every tour. So,
yeah.
Then we have Avail, Quicksand, Cave In, Ceremony, Screaming Females, and Terminal Bliss will be playing a show dubbed the Over the James 2022 at Browns Island in Richmond, Virginia on August 6th, 2022. It's a one-off show with all those bands performing together. Then we have Knocked Loose going to Europe and UK for their summer touring plans, starting June 16th at Copenhagen in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm guessing that's a festival. Finishing July 9th at 2000 in Cheltenham, UK. Then Stabbing Westward is going out on tour starting July 1st at Mechanismus Festival in Seattle, Washington, finishing September 16th, 2022 at Cold Waves in Brooklyn, New York. No Nashville date for them. Helmet going out on tour in June, starting June 3rd at the Met in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, finishing at Fine Line in Minneapolis, Minnesota on June 25th. No Nashville date there. Then we have The Ocean, LLNN, and Playgrounded going to Europe and to the UK, starting August 24th at the Baroque in Rotterdam, Netherlands, finishing October 2nd at Underdogs in Prague in the Czech Republic. Then moving over to blabbermouth.net for a couple, we have Tesla going out on tour starting May 5th at Del Lago Resort and Casino in Waterloo, New York, finishing on September 18th at the House of Blues in New Orleans. No Nashville date for that. Then we have The Life Project, The Many Colored Death, and Etched in Embers. They're getting together to play a show tonight at the Riff in Springfield, Missouri. So you want to hit the road to see that one, you better get driving right now. So
yeah, right.
So that's hitting the road for the 23rd through the 29th.
Did you cover Anthrax?
I thought we covered that last week. Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Hatebreed. I thought we covered that last week.
Oh, did we? Okay.
I thought we had.
I don't know. I think the one I seen just said it was like 4 days ago or something. So
hang on just one second. Let me. I mean,
we may have. I don't.
Let me check it out real quick. I can pull up last week's list. I think.
You think?
Yeah, it was the first. It was you had it because I have it highlighted in yellow.
Okay.
But
Okay.
anyway, but if anyone missed it, we'll go over it real quick. Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Hatebreed, starting July 27th at the Van Buren in Phoenix, Arizona, finishing August 28th at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. Hatebreed will not be at that show, and the tour will be coming to Ryman Auditorium in Nashville on Jason's birthday of August 16th.
Yep.
So everybody get him a present. So
Yeah, I take 4 seats in concerts.
there you
Tickets.
go. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, good deal. So, all right, I guess we'll jump into our top 10 metal songs of the week.
Oh, this was a good one too.
I will post last week's up real quick.
All right. So I'll pull this down. This was the weekly playlist. We're going to get rid of that for a second. And there we go. There is last week's top 10 list, which was Crime.
Yep. Crime time.
That's right. This was actually a good one to do. I liked this one. This was a good one.
So this week we decided to do one on colors, which I think we had done this before, but it was before we got over on this platform, I believe.
Mm-hmm, I think so too. It was definitely before we started like compiling everything into a playlist. Yeah,
for a list. So it's I think that's what I like doing, the playlist, so I can kind of get something to listen to and be like, oh,
yeah.
Which doing these two, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that band.
Right.
Forget about a lot of things when you start doing this. But
mm-hmm.
All right, my top 10, I actually got four extras because I didn't know how this would go. So
I have 7 for the same reason.
So we may wind up with 30. Who knows? But anyway, I kind of went. My first one, I kind of went off the norm with AC/DC. You would think it'd be Back in Black, but no, I took Sink the Pink. So yeah, so that was from Fly on the Wall in 1985. Yeah, I mean it's real easy to find songs with black in it when you're talking metal. So I try to like get something kind of off the target with black, but of course it's hard to. But
yeah, that's true.
My second one was based on the band Whitechapel. I took Blood Soaked Symphony from the Ken album in 2021.
Blood Soaked Symphony. And if you want to get technical, you threw the color in there.
Yeah, I guess.
If you want to get like super duper technical, I mean everybody knows that blood is red.
Yeah, that's true.
Or well, it's blue until introduced with oxygen, but that's
there you go.
That's science. So
my next one was Breaking Benjamin, Red Cold River. That was from Ember 2018.
Is it Red Cold River?
Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin.
Yep.
Benjamin.
This next one's going to go back a couple of years here.
That's okay.
and I ought to get like triple points for this one.
Oh, okay. All right. What you got?
So it's Blue Murder. The song is Blue Murder, and it's from the album Blue Murder in 1989. So
yeah, that's definitely a trifecta.
So I was doing that when I'm like, really? Like, damn, that's crazy.
Nice.
So my next one was Black Label Society. I took the artist there. So I took Suicide Messiah from the Mafia 2005 album.
That's a good song.
Yeah, that's what I hadn't heard in a while too. I was trying to figure out something. I said I ain't heard like something in a while, so I threw it on there.
Yeah, Black Label Society. Nice.
Yeah, my next one was In This Moment, Black Wedding from Ritual 2017.
Yeah, even though that wasn't officially a cover song, because you and I have talked before about how we're not a super huge fan of we like In This Moment, but for some reason we're not a huge fan of their covers.
Yeah.
So this one technically,
well, I mean, with Rob Halford helping kind of helps too. So
that's true.
My next one was kind of helpful being on the tour the other night, but I took Testament Souls of Black from the Souls of Black album in 1990. And the next one I took was Dio, Rainbow in the Dark. That's all colors. So,
that's yeah.
Holy Diver, 1983.
That just went double platinum. Wow, we have fucking good.
Segways for days.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. We got them here at the Metalheads Unite podcast.
And this one's going to be interesting, I think, because I actually
Okay.
only listened to this album once, I believe. So, and I heard this song, and I think, man, I got to go back and check this album out because it was so good. But next one I had was Wasp, Thunder Red, and it was from the album Babylon in 2015. Actually, come across this album, and I was like, I didn't realize Wasp was still around at that point. So I was like,
Yeah.
but and my last one was based on the band as well. I guess it could go either way, but Code Orange, Out for Blood. It was actually just a 2021 single. So
You know what's funny is we do these, and I mean we've been doing them for going on a year and a half, and there's been times where we've picked topics, and I'll be sitting there putting mine together, and I'll think to myself, we're gonna have so many that overlap, and then we don't have any, and then we do ones that end up being a little more difficult, and we have more overlaps.
right,
I'm actually this may be one of the ones that I'm the most surprised on. We only had one overlap out of everything.
wow,
And it's not the one I would have expected. And you'll see why in just a second. Um, well, I tell you what, I'll read through mine and then I will pick the one. I'll let you guess the one that I thought for sure that you would have and see if you can get it. All right. My top 10, I have Days Turn Blue to Gray by Machine Head from Through the Ashes of Empires in 2003. Then I have Paint Me Red by Avatar off of Black Waltz from 2012. Then I have the song we were talking about on our way back from the concert. I had Redneck by Lamb of God from Sacrament off of 2000 off of Sacrament from 2006. Then I had Blacklist by Exodus off of Tempo of the Damned from 2004. Though then the double that we had, I had Souls of Black by Testament off of the album of the same name from 1990. Then I had Blood Red by Slayer off of Seasons in the Abyss from 1990. Then I had Black Curtains by Megadeth off of Euthanasia from 1994. Then I had Blackened by Metallica from And Justice for All, 1988. The Black Hand Reaches Out by Warbringer off of Weapons of Tomorrow from 2020. And then one you mentioned, Back in Black by AC/DC from the album of the same name from 1980. So that was my top 10. Which one of those songs was the one that I thought you would have that you didn't?
Warbringer.
Nope. Blacklist.
Really?
Exodus, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was because you were
the
like,
reason I said it because I almost put Black Hand Reaches Out on there, and then I realized I said, man, I don't want. I just did it 2 weeks ago, so I'm kind of like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I was making this list and I was like, all right, I'm going to put Blacklist on here because I like it so much. But I was like, I don't know if I should because Jason made a point to say they better play Blacklist. And they did. So I thought, so that was the one I was like, all right, this is going to be a double for sure. And then it wasn't. I was like, holy shit.
The main reason is I was trying to stay away from Black as much as I could. So
yeah.
By the time I got down into that deep, I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do another Black song. So
yeah,
but
yeah, it was difficult. It really was. But at some point, it's like, you know what? They're too good of a song not to include. It's like, screw it, just throw it on there.
So what was your extras?
I had my extras. I mean, hell, I had Black Sunshine by White Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
I had Black Number One by Negative. Black River's Flow by Lazarus AD. The Burning Red by Machine Head. Huh?
Lazarus AD.
Yeah, I know. The Burning Red by Machine Head. Fade to Black by Metallica. Black and White by Static X. And A Fine Red Mist by Heathen.
I had 4. I had Chevelle the Red.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I had a Straight Line Stitch, Black Veil. And then I had, of course, Black Veil Brides, Crimson Skies. So kind of a twofer.
Yep.
And then
Well, I tell you what.
Just throw them all on there, screw it.
Well, we'll throw them all on there, but I've been making you a collaborator anyway. But I mean,
Oh well, that's true. Yeah. So
I mean, what's the fourth one? Just so I have the whole list.
Motionless in White, Break the Cycle.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll compile it, but then I'll make you a collaborator. Throw on there.
All right.
Let you throw them on there. So yeah, this one could end up being damn it. Well, actually, shit. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It'd be 30, I think it's
18, 19, 20, 22. 30 on the nose. All right, well, that's fine.
Be like a regular weekly playlist. So
there you go.
That's kind of what I do with the weekly playlist. I just put 30 songs on the playlist. So
yeah, that'll work too.
It usually winds up right around 2 hours. So that's what I usually go with.
Yep. So we'll get that between the two of us. We'll get that compiled, and you guys will be able to check that out over at the Metalheads Unite Facebook group for all the people who are members there. We were at 350. We dropped down to 349 for a minute, but then somebody else last night asked to be a member. So as far as I know, we're back up to that 350 number at the moment. So, but for anybody else, you guys would probably have to wait until we throw it up on the bottom of the screen. Right? Jason's better at pointing at things than I am. At the bottom of the screen, next week. So.
All right. Well, I guess we can go into lack of album reviews this week. So.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. It wasn't so much a lack of album reviews, but there was. It ended up more or less being a lack of stuff to choose from, really.
Well, I mean, 3 of the albums were death metal albums,
mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like I would be, like always, I don't feel like I would be able to give it a honest opinion. So any of the death metal fans out there, you definitely have some to choose from.
Well, yeah, at least let them know which albums they are for sure.
Yeah, shit, I don't even remember which ones they were. Honestly, I had to look them back up.
All right. Well, I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool.
Then there was 3. Actually, I got it pulled up right here. I'll go through it real quick.
Oh, okay.
It was the Devil Master Ecstasies of Never Ending Night. That was a death metal album there. No Moss, Consume, Deny, Repent. Also a death metal. And then Watain or however you pronounce that one, The Agony and Ecstasy of Watain. That was also a death metal album.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Velcro Cranes. Was not able to find that one, so I'm not sure what happened with that release. The various artists for the Raining Blood tribute that I want to check out, could not find that as well. And then the Speckman Project, Friends of Emptiness, could not find that one either. So there we go. So yeah, 3 we couldn't find, 3 that were death metal, and then that left very very few few up after that. So the Kepa Urskog or whatever, I was going to listen to that, but then it was 8 songs in like 58 minutes or something. So some of the songs were like 20 minutes long. So I was just like, wow, I don't know if my attention span's that long for
yeah.
But
well, the funny thing is, like, at some point when you're listening to a song that long, if anything grabs your attention at all, you forget where you're at. You forget you're listening to the same song, and you're like,
yeah, you do.
Did the song change? You lose track of yourself sometimes.
You do, yeah. And then checked out Ted Nugent's album Detroit Muscle. It was Ted Nugent, so.
There you go. There's the review.
There's really nothing like nothing jumps out to say anything, about it. I mean, it's not like Alice Cooper tends to do different things still, and Ted Nugent still sounded like Cat Scratch Fever. So,
yep.
And some of the stuff was kind of too political for my taste, so I didn't.
Especially here lately.
Well, yeah, he's very. And and I get it. Some of his stuff is I get it, and some of it I'm just like, dude, just shut the fuck up. But I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like one of those things. Like you get to where, uh, I will side with him on the Second Amendment. I kind of, I'm a
Hmm.
big believer in that. So other than that, he kind of loses me. But
Yeah. He goes off the deep end a little bit
yeah, but his
sometimes.
songs were definitely like on point. Like you can you can get some of the intel from some songs like Machine Head with that, that's probably political, and I get it. But if you just listen to it and not thinking about politics, you would not never know that some of that stuff was political.
Hmm.
With this, he makes it known. Ted makes it known.
Yeah.
It makes it very well known what he's writing about. So
Oh yeah. He's got no problem telling you what he
yeah,
thinks.
I mean that's it. I mean he's got the ability and money to do what he wants to do. So
Yeah. I respect it, even though I don't necessarily have to agree with it. But I mean, that's the great thing is, and I wish more people would have that mindset. Fine, I can respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but
right, right,
I also don't have to try to censor you or all this other bullshit. But in order not to turn this into a forum or something like that, I'm just gonna.
right. Yeah, and then I listened to the Thunder Dopamine too. I listened to that one, which is it's kind of it's Thunder. It's 80s, 90s, you know hair metalish. So
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
little, got a couple of fast paced songs, but most of it's kind of ballady.
Okay, I got you.
Actually, there's been a lot better Thunder albums. So I'll put it that
Okay,
way.
there you go.
uh,
Well, well, I mean, we'll get to the one we both listened to here in just a second. It was the obvious one, but
mhm.
the only one, the one that I listened to, and I got all the way through it, but the problem is I couldn't find a lot of concrete information about the band. Um, I know they're from the. I listened to "Profound Morality" by Harriet.
Mhm.
They're from the UK. They were originally a three piece, but now they're a quartet. Let's
I
see,
wouldn't
you
even know
got
that.
you got
I wouldn't
Aaron
even.
Allman on guitar. Yeah, I know. Eh, I don't know why I did this, but instead of just keeping with the Loudwire list, I went over to the PRP because they have a list, and sometimes it's a little longer. So I went over there to see what they had, and I remember
Maybe I
you
should have went
talk. Yeah,
there.
I remember you talking about that band Harriet in a
Yeah.
in a story. So I was like, well, let's see what they're all about. Um, they are a metalcore band out of the UK. They consist of Aaron Allman on guitar, Jake Packer on bass and vocal, Julian Gage on drums, and then Debbie Guff. I think that's how you pronounce it. Gough, either Guff or Gouge. I'm not real sure. I don't want to mispronounce her name on purpose, but
Mhm.
she plays guitar and she also does vocals. I don't know when they were formed. I'm not exactly sure what album this is of theirs, and technically, it's not even an LP. It's 8 tracks long, 20 minutes and 17 seconds. Um, Two of the songs are basically just instrumentals, and they're so short they might as well be those little interludes that we don't really care for. Um, it is heavy. Um, it is heavy in spots. I don't really. Oh, I can't even remember her name already. I don't really like Debbie's vocals. Man, I really hate to trash. I hate to dog people's work. I hate being hard on people's work because I can't even do it myself. But as a fan, I'm also trying to be a subjective,
Mhm.
reviewer here. But I didn't really care for this a whole lot. The music is fine,
Mhm.
but the and it, even both vocalists, I don't really care for their vocal style because it is a metalcore band, but they're a metalcore band, but they're both of their vocal styles. Like Debbie Guff, her vocal style is just a bunch of incoherent shrieking, and then and like I say, I hate to say that, but and then the other vocalist, Jake Packer, he he's got a more aggressive vocal style than a lot of metalcore vocalists, but I couldn't understand a word he said either. But in his case, I don't know if it was actually the way he sings or the way they had his vocal track tuned. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it may have been a combination of both, but the entire album, I don't think I understood one word of either one of them. Seriously, I mean, I was listening, is like, have I heard one word I understand yet? So it's just it takes away from the enjoyment for me, even though at the expense of sounding hypocritical, because I know we're about to go right into an album that neither one of us can understand a single word on, but that's for a different reason. So you can't call me a hypocrite, and you'll know why in a minute. But the musically, they were good and heavy. So I'm gonna give this 2 horns out of 5, based on the music. But you guys may want to give it a listen. They're a little bit more of a guttural metalcore band than I would have expected. So give them a listen. Wasn't my preferred vocal style, but
What was the original album you were going to do?
well, that was the original album I was going to do.
Oh, okay.
But I was hesitant because I couldn't find any concrete info, and I like to be as thorough as possible.
Right.
The other one, what the fuck was the other one I was going to do that I just didn't get a chance to? The other one that I was going to do, and it ended up being an EP. It was the artist is Lament Cityscape, and it was a darker discharge. But it was only 7. I know, right? Ugh. But that band or that album title though, and I may still listen to it, but I didn't get a chance to before the show. But it's only 7 songs long, and it's just a shade under 25 minutes. But I got busy this morning and I never got a chance. So that was the one. Like I told you last night, that was the one I was going to go with, just because I couldn't find the info on the other band. Because Lament Cityscape, they actually are on Encyclopedia Metallum, but Harriot, ironically, is not. So I don't know why.
Well, I mean, they're a band too, so
yeah, relatively, yeah. But so I did, listen to my original album, and then the alternate that I was gonna go with, I didn't. So, and then yesterday, back and forth to work, I did listen to the new album Zeit by Rammstein, so which I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah, so I'm about 5 songs in, and so far I'm liking what I'm hearing. So
Yeah, I was able to get.
Even though I don't speak German, but
right. Yeah, so like I said, you can't call me a hypocrite just because I don't speak German. I can understand, I can hear every word that Till Lindemann is saying, but
I
just
just
because
don't know what it means.
right, that's the thing. So that's why I'm not a hypocrite. I can clearly hear everything that Till Lindemann is saying.
And that's like Null Positive. They're the same way. It's like I can understand them. I just don't know what she's saying. But
exactly, yeah. So it's not hypocrisy. And I'm not talking about Peter Tägtgren's band, Hypocrisy. I'm not talking about them.
Right.
So anyway, that being said, let's see what we got coming up next week. Hopefully we'll have a
lot of good stuff next week. So
hopefully we'll have a better list. So
I know there's one on the list you're going to check out, that AWOL Nation. So
no. No. So let's see. This coming Friday, May 6th.
Only if Devil Driver covers it, right?
Yes. Now, can I just hear Des Fafara just sing Sail? Can I hear that? Yeah. Leading off for May 6th, 2022, leading off, we have and Sacrificial. That's an EP for them. We have AWOL Nation with My Echo, My Shadow, My Covers. Then we have Black. Yeah, maybe. Then we have Black Eye with a self-titled album. We have Christian Death with Evil Becomes Rule. We have Cosmic Putrefaction, Dirge for the Blessed Ones. Then we have Demonical with Ass Destroyer. Here's Yours, Fozzy with Boombox. We have with Back from the Dead. We have Ibaraki with I don't know if it's Rashomon or Rashaman, and Ibaraki, for those of you guys that don't know, is it's Matt Heafy's side project. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Check that out
and
for
then
sure.
we have Yanni Liimatainen with My Father's Son. We have Jeff Scott Soto with Complicated, Motor Sister with Get Off. We have Ow, OU. That's the name of the band. OU.
Yeah,
Ow.
I guess.
Ooh. Oh. I don't know. Is it a Sylvester Stallone that sings it? Oh. Oh. I don't know. That's the name of the band. The name of the album is One. So there you go. We have Ow with One. I don't know. Then we have Pure Reason Revolution with Above Cirrus. We have Sabaton with The Symphony to End All Wars. We have Silverstein with Misery Made Me. We have Stoner with Totally. That's the name. Yeah. Totally. ... So that's how I'm reading it. So it's got to be that way. Then we have Tank with 2 re-releases. We have Don't Walk Away and Filth Hounds of Hades. Then we have 3 Days Grace with Explosions. Then we have UFO Mammoth with Fenice or Fenice. I don't know. This one might be one that you'll want to check out. We have Upon a Burning Body with Fury.
Oh yeah.
And then we have Woe Fat with The Singularity. So that's the list of new releases from Loudwire for next Friday. Like I say, the prp.com, they also have their list that may have some other stuff on it. So
I may check out that Motor Sister too. I've been lucky with the motor bands, so
that is true. It's weird how that works, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, like that and the Wolf. The Wolf bands have been pretty
Also
on target
true.
too. So
now imagine if there was a band called Wolf Motor or Motor Wolf.
Motor Wolf. Oh my
god. We'll have to look that up. I would be willing to.
There might be. Yeah.
I'm going to look that up right now. There's got to be a band called Motor Wolf. Hang on.
Yeah. If there is, I definitely want to check their shit out. So
there's got to be.
Motor Wolf.
Hang on. Holy shit, there is.
Is it really?
Yeah. It looks like I don't know what language this is. Hang on a second. They have their own Facebook page. Hold on. Fuck, I can't tell what.
They don't have anything on Spotify, so.
Yeah, I can't tell what language this is. I'm wanting to say, man, .gr. They have a website with a .gr at the end. I don't know what country that's.
Yeah, Great Britain. I don't know. I mean, that would still be UK though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. Well, it's set the only
Greenland. Is it Greenland? Maybe.
Oh, it may be. Maybe.
I know Australia's is AU.
So. AU and Russia is RU.
I bet it is. I bet it's Greenland.
Might be. Well, let's see. Well, anyway, the only thing I can really read on here, it says hard boogie rock and roll. So not necessarily a metal band, but there's a band out there called there's a band out there called Motor Wolf.
Wow.
And of course, there's Wolf Mother, but that's not metal at all. So
yeah.
But yeah, there's a band out there called Motor Wolf. So that's cool as shit.
All right. I guess that will wrap this bad boy up for this week. So
yes, it does.
Since we're already outside of the radio.co stuff, so
yeah,
we've already been kicked off of there. They're like, "Oh, you get out of here." But,
yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Enjoyed the recaps and from the shows that we went to, and then
yeah. Look forward to recapping the show next week too.
Yeah.
Look forward to that one.
And all the playlists and all the news stories and I guess all the content in general. But
yeah. But if there's any, like we said before, if you guys want to join the chat or if you want to drop us a line at the Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com and let us know, what segments of the show you guys like, which ones you don't like, or hell, we'll even take suggestions about, other things, if there's other stuff you guys want us to talk about, I mean, we'll take anything into consideration, if there's enough of a demand for it. So, send us an email, drop us a line here in the chat. For any of the members in the Facebook group, if there's anything, post something over there, or even comment on the rebroadcast of the show after the fact, during the week. That's fine. Anybody who wants to become a member of the Metalheads Unite Facebook group, our little thumbnail icon in the upper right hand corner of the screen there is the one you'll be looking for that's our webpage over there. And then you can find us at VOPUSARadio.com on the interwebs, and then VOPUSA Radio, the mobile app, all that good stuff. Then also, we're, I think, 3 weeks in now for having the Metalheads Unite Facebook group, or not Facebook group, YouTube channel. So we got that over there too. You can find us over there. So there's plenty of ways to get in contact with us, however you guys may choose. Come on by.
There is the VOP USA Radio if you're looking for that.
Yep.
So you can catch all the shows live that way. So
yeah, you can. You can. There's
the recap, and I think they do recaps on there too. So
yep.
I don't know how often we're played on there, but I do know we're live when we're live. So that's all.
Right.
That's all I know. So
yeah. That's all we can control.
I know YouTube, you can go back and watch it, or Twitch, I think you can go back and watch it.
Oh yeah.
Too. So all those avenues you can always go back and watch. I don't know how it is on here on StreamYard. I'm pretty sure you could probably go back and do it there too. But
yeah, and then definitely anyone who's in the Facebook group, I mean, they can watch the rebroadcast, and even and you can even, and I always forget about, of course, we still have no idea all the names of all the platforms we go to.
Right.
But you and I both, I think, we have our own personal Twitter accounts where I know you can watch, if you guys follow us on Twitter, you can even watch the rebroadcast on Twitter too. So, I mean, it's yep. If you want to watch us, we're definitely out there.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess that will wrap this up for this week, and we will be back next week with more of the same road tales, I guess. But we'll be back with the recap of the metal tour of the year, and then we'll get into our weekly segments after that, I guess. But
yep.
All right. Well, I guess I appreciate everyone for stopping by with us today. I apologize for my on and off screen here because my allergies are very much taking control of me today. I might have to find some medication, I think, today. So
yeah, some Claritin.
Yeah, well, I don't really take anything like that, but I got some.
Okay, fine. Ambien.
Some odor. No, I didn't know Ambien either. just sleep through it, man. Just sleep through it. NyQuil. Just take NyQuil.
Yeah, there you go.
Find me in the kitchen floor with the bottle in my hand. So.
Yeah.
Never made it out of the kitchen. That was the old was Louis Anderson that did that. I can't remember. I can't remember who did that joke.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So it was the coughing, aching. How the hell I get my kitchen floor medicine? So,
something like yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who did that. But anyway. So that will wrap it up for this week. We appreciate you guys for stopping by. We will be back next week. I hope you guys join us as well. Until then, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can.
Yeah. And in the immortal words of Steve Zetro Souza from Thursday night, heavy metal forever.
That's right. Heavy metal forever. See you guys next week.
Have a great one, guys.